3. We am live.
We am live.
And this time, it is actually we.
Yay!
This one actually showed up this week. I had to do the recap all by my lonesome last week.
Sorry, was doing family stuff.
I know, but I can still guilt you.
Was celebrating the birth of our country by blowing up a small part of it.
Great words there, buddy. Considering.
It's a Simpsons reference.
I'm aware. I'm also aware that I'm not getting into it. Never mind. So what's going on, guys? It's the Sunday live stream, and we are back to ReRISE. ReRISE has re-risen. It has re-risen finally after last week, after I did the recap and all that stuff, and we got to see some new teasers. Damn, we have 7 people already. So last week we saw some teasers, and obviously some were for this episode and some were for upcoming episodes. So did go over that. But of course, guys, make sure you go subscribe to this Shoki Review 2 channel so that we can stay ahead of this clown. We finally surpassed him after like 3 days of struggling back and forth. I think some of you misunderstood. You weren't supposed to subscribe to his channel. You're supposed to subscribe to mine to beat him. So if you haven't, go subscribe to the Shoki Review 2 channel. I was trying to get to 220 subscribers so that we could just kind of be ahead. So I might be doing a giveaway soon over there. I don't know of what just yet, but I'll find something. I don't know. So, and I do have a vlog coming out tomorrow that I'm going to have to upload after this is done of the things that have been going on around here in the last week.
Cool.
And then I have to edit the next video for all the things that just happened today.
Oh, yeah.
So before getting into it, guys, how was your week? Tell the people.
It's been a week.
Yeah.
Channel wise, what did I upload? I got the my Alto Flight Type Navy review up. And that one's done pretty well. And I also, for Beast Wars Backtrack, I uploaded a review of the basic class Insecticon. He's a neat little guy, and that one's got a pretty good response too, especially considering it's just this random little dude.
Yep. I did watch that one. I didn't get a chance to watch the Alto Flight Type, though I did almost pick that one up the other day when I had it in hand. But I almost picked up the Seal Nova as well, because that is a really neat looking kit.
Which one?
The Seal Nova. It's the new one. Not Seal Nova. What is it called? It's Seal something. Either way, it's the new one that's got the long legs and the radome.
Okay, that's when the new. Is that when the new body types?
Yes, it is. It's Seal something. Cool. I thought it was Seal Nova. No, I'm starting to think it was. Either way, it doesn't matter.
It's not the Rybot or whatever.
No, not the Rabiot or whatever. I did see that one. It's just weird looking. Like where I was at Bedrock City, they had like all the new stuff. So that was pretty cool. Yes, guys, sorry, I'm not ignoring the chat. I see Omega Pro who's excited. Lendl Rodriguez, hello, totally not Marlon. It rose again. Malik Vasquez, haven't seen you in a while. What's going on? Jason Cayer, what's up? Jerry Leal, I see you. Hida Ben R, Texas is in full-blown hot as hell mode at the moment. Yes, it is. And my AC decided to start suffering from that about an hour ago. So if in the middle of the live stream you start seeing me sweating, it's because the wife had to turn off the AC because something is going wrong. So I had to take an hour break or so from doing notes and trying to finish up the review of this episode to go try to service the AC unit and try to clear out the like 8 pounds of dirt that was in it. So I have had a hell of a last couple of days. This whole day has been a complete wreck, and I don't even know where to end. I know where it began. I want to end. It hit 105 today in Albuquerque. That sucks. It was 115 on Friday here with the heat index.
Is that Albuquerque, New Mexico? Or
yes.
New York?
I'm pretty sure there's no other Albuquerques.
I want to say there's Albuquerque, New York or something, isn't there?
That's Albany. Like how you're like, oh, no. Yes, it's Albany. I don't believe there's an Albuquerque, New Mexico. However, I did have things come up on my channel this week. Some 52 Toys reviews that were pretty cool. You guys seem to like the Sonic Beat. I forgot what the bird. The yellow bird, the yellow parrot.
Rumblebeat or something, wasn't it?
Rumblebeat. I conflate the two names. It's Rumblebeat and something or Sonic something. The NASA flavored one should be coming soon, so I'll be picking that one up. And yes, I always say flavored. But then I also had the new Black Spider, which is pretty cool. So I did a thing. So I reviewed all the ones that are just repaints and slight retools first, and then I'll be reviewing all the new molds this week, and I'll also be reviewing the Planet X Ratchet and a few other things as I go, like some of the stuff that I got today that will be on in the kitchen video here in a couple of days, and then some kits that I've been working on that you are privy to. So that, I believe, is going to be a 4-way review. Just all at once. Just throw them all out. How tall is your stack of box chargers now? Not very tall, because I only have like this much space to stack them. So they're only like 3 tall. The bird was amazing. Note, not a good day to piss off Shoki. Please don't piss me off.
No,
I had to deal with so much bullshit today that if it did not get settled and somebody said the wrong thing to me today, I would have gone off. And it wasn't even stuff pertaining directly to me. It was stuff with Miss Shoki. And she was incredibly upset and stuff like that. So
all of you be on your best behavior.
Everyone be on their best behavior. Albuquerque, when you say it with Utica regional dialect. It's Albuquerque when you say it with a Utica regional dialect. I don't know. That doesn't translate in text, Jerry. And yes, Riser, and hello, I see you. So, damn, we're up to 19 people watching in like the first 10 minutes.
Go us.
People have been waiting for us.
Yeah. I mean,
it was you coming back.
Well, and like every time we would stream and stuff like that, there would always be, it's like, so when are you going to be doing ReRISE stuff again? It's
yeah. When it comes back. So they've just been chomping at the bit waiting. But my other streams and my Ghostbuster Ecto 1 build streams didn't get that many views, so people just weren't interested in that. By the way, I still haven't built the rest of my proton packs yet.
Well, considering that you're about ready to rage quit on I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I think it's going to take me 3 hours to build the next 3. It's a Simpsons joke. Okay. ReRISE, I'm up to episode 19. Has released any more episodes? No, Malik. That's why we're here to review episode 19.
Yeah.
Duh. And since this is a live stream, we have to show off the trophy of apathy. It's the new thing, the trophy of apathy. You should get one of those, but have it like edited. Just keep it on your desk at work. Like,
I wish.
That would be hilarious. Like, I want one as a hood ornament.
Actually, what would be hilarious if they made one, but instead of the actual shooting the bird, flipping the bird, finger, it was actual physical, like digital censoring or something like that. Weird. Like instead of the actual flipping,
like
off,
regardless what direction you looked at it. Yeah, regardless of what direction you looked at it, it looked like a fractal.
Yeah, just like it'd be a collection of cubes on top of each other.
That would be really weird, because you would have to have like motion tracking, and it would just go around it at all times. I think that would be. Or
it'd just be 3-dimensional, like those amiibos of the 8-bit Mario and Link.
Yeah, but that just looks like a big cluster. I think it'd be hilarious if it was an actual thing, like blocking it, like it looked like a fractalized thing, so you could never see it, or pixelated, whatever you want to say, and it just rotated around it at all times as you tried to look at it. Like, no, you cannot look at this. So, like, you try to get around it, and it's like, you know. I'll talk to Adam Savage about that. I bet he would be the one to make that happen. Oh, just to randomly bring it up, because I said Adam Savage. Did you see the? I think I put a post about him, or you heard the. I won't go into it, but you heard the kind of news about him.
No.
Okay, we'll talk about it off stream. some rather not good things have been said about him in very recent days, and like he's been very, very good at deflecting, but there's been a lot of people in streams, videos, and posts online trying to get him to confront the thing, but he's already he's already dealt with it, so to speak. But either way, it's
I'll have to look that up later.
If it's allowed to go through, it will devastate his legacy, his career, everything. But supposedly, allegedly, none of it is true.
Okay.
So, shout out to Adam Savage. You know, just because. Oh, speaking of tested, since I'm on that thing, they finally, many months later, like they do, they're showing off their Star Destroyer build on the YouTube.
I saw the link for that video. I hadn't checked it out yet.
Yeah, so remember back when I did my Star Destroyer, I saw their post about it, and that's where I got the idea. So
yeah, to do the Aztecing.
To do the Aztecing and everything, but I have not watched the new video that's supposedly addressing the lighting and stuff like that. However, watching that, the first one, and watching them Aztec, and I'm like, you guys are doing it all wrong. And they even said, it's like, yeah, we got the scaling wrong. Should have done a little bit more. And it was two people doing the Aztecing at the same time. Like, so it was Norm and Katie. So Katie's got one half of it, and Norm's got the other. They both had different ideas how to do Aztecing. And then when they got about halfway done, they switched. No, it's kind of an interesting idea. So they switched parts. So he had the top, she had the bottom, whatever. And so they got about halfway through on what they considered done, and then switched, and then made up the difference on each other's pieces. So it was cohesive, sort of. But like, they did it differently than I did. They didn't put down a really darker base coat for the Aztecing. They actually did it with a different white, but they ended up using the same insignia white that I did.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
For the same top coat. I was like, what are the odds? So yeah.
Vindication.
It wasn't hold on. Oh yeah. So no, but I did see you commented on their Star Destroyer, the Aztecing. Yes, I did do that. Totally not Marlin. Did you see how they're putting up the Freedom statue in Shanghai? Yeah. Good job, Bandai. Put the literally symbol of freedom in China. It's a good idea, Bandai. Great idea. Don't put it up in a country that is actually free or anything. Now, if they put it in Hong Kong. Either way, I'm not going into the political ramifications of that. It's just, it became its own joke.
Besides, seed isn't really like that much in America anyway.
Yeah, sure it is. But either way, if there was going to be a place to put the Freedom Gundam, put it here. But then again, that leaves us the ability to get Exia. So put the 1-to-1 Exia in Houston, Texas. We'll put a Gundam base in Houston. Because
that'd be cool.
Well, because LA is going to be on fire next year, so there's no reason to put it there. New York is going to be sunk into the ground, so no reason to put it there. Houston should still be standing, so we'll put it in Houston.
See, part of me wants to see it be at like the Johnson Space Center or something like that.
Exactly.
Right next to like the shuttle on top of the whatever the jumbo jet transport was.
That would actually awesome. That would be pretty cool, not gonna lie. Thinking the Strike Freedom would be a better fit. Yeah, but that actually, the connotation of the name Strike Freedom sounds weird when you use it like an adjective, like Strike Freedom.
Something that I thought was kind of funny was if you look at the when they kind of did the little spinning of their CAD model, you see that the wings have little skids at the bottom of it, so that way the thing can basically to help support the
so the wings can come down large.
Plus, also it makes it a little bit more stable, I imagine, because now instead of being a biped, it's basically a quadruped.
It holds itself up with its wings. Actually, I didn't even look at the thing that close, to be totally honest with you. I figured they would have the wings move, Even though that sounds like a terrible idea, given the size of them, it'd be like,
no, I don't think they're going to
huge
move.
things.
I think it's going to stay stationary on the ground.
Now, if they were going to do that, they should totally do like double X and actually have it like unfold and then be like this.
That would be cool.
Except for anybody who's over there at the right angle with the sun, and they're just like, God, it's like literally just go blind or melt a hole through something. I wish there was a 1-to-1 Mazinger. We couldn't build that, dude. Isn't that thing massive? Like the size of a building?
We're going to talk ridiculous. Let's get a 1-to-1 Evangelion.
We don't have Angel Tech to pull that off. Let's see here. The wings have landing pads. Yeah, I find that funny. Why not the Wing Gundam? I don't know why they don't want. Well, Japan doesn't really like Wing Gundam.
Like it's not that they don't like it. It's just another series to them. It doesn't have that.
If it's not UC, if it's not UC, it doesn't count.
Yeah, so like it does in America. That's nostalgia there because that was the first Gundam series in America, even though it technically wasn't. And it was.
You're welcome.
It's not a Shoki stream without a burp.
Okay,
there we go.
I strained for that. I'm sorry. 1-to-1 Psycho Gundam. Yeah, that thing would just fall over. Oh, I got scratched my ear. Well, it depends. Which Psycho Gundam do you mean? Because they got smaller over time.
Was the Psycho 2 smaller?
They did get smaller. They were still big, bulky bots, but you got to remember that the initial like Moon Gundam thing was a Psycho Gundam.
Yeah, it was the Psycho Gundam Mark.
Basically 6
or 4, I want to say, because I was looking at that recently.
No, because the 5 is what is it? Just like I'm having a brain fart here. The Psycho Gundam 5 looks a lot like another Gundam that came right after it. So I'm trying to remember. My brain is dead. Yeah, let's make a 1-to-1 Gurren Lagann.
Which one?
Well, I mean, if you start with original Gurren Lagann, the head is just barely bigger than a person.
Yeah, so Gurren Lagann original combo is not super tall.
I mean, it's Gundam-esque.
Yeah.
I mean, they just make them look huge. That in sizes, whatever. What are you drinking today? That sounded like a beer burp. It's Pepsi. I mean, the bottle is on screen.
Well, you can't see the label.
What else is blue with a red? Estrella.
RC Cola?
They changed the RC label.
Did they?
It's kind of sad. I like RC. I really do. I actually drank it for a while, and Cherry RC is actually not bad. I'm a fan of that too. And then they had RC with real sugar that wasn't bad, but like it's just going downhill a bit. Like it's just like the least important mainline cola, even though it's been around for fucking ever.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure it's canned here in town.
I wouldn't be surprised because I want to say RC is one of those brands that's somewhat local, and I think it's owned by Dr. Pepper Snapple.
It is.
Pepper Snapple's still a thing.
Well, we have Crown Cork and Seal down here, which is mostly Dr. Pepper products, but they also do cans. Excuse me. For other products, like they make the stuff, but there is a section that does do the actual canning. I meant Wing Gundam for the West since it's considered the Western Gundam. Western Gundam. No, the Western Gundam is the Desperado Gundam from Build Fighters Try. Devil never. No, not Try. That was Build Divers Season 1.
Yeah.
Desperado. We'll never see it. Don't worry about it.
Sad.
1-to-1 Pluton. Why? Why would anybody want that? Like Pluton's cool, but nobody knows what the hell it is. And
Pluton
I missed
is that's
the new 00. Right? Yeah, the one that the pre-orders are shut down for already on actual P Bandai's website.
Oh no! Were you able to get in?
Nope. So I got to pay full price for that thing. Or wait. See, that's kind of the problem with P Bandai's site. They're like, yeah, pre-orders are open till October, but
they may get closed before that.
Yeah. So I actually had it in my cart but I was low on funds that week. And after what happened the other day, I'm no longer low on funds. So I went to go purchase it today and saw that it was sold out. I did pre-order the Bartos armor, though.
The what?
The Bartos add-on set.
Oh, cool.
Of course, that doesn't come out till like December, apparently. So, I mean, even if I'd ordered Plutone, it wouldn't have come for Double October. So, I mean, I'll just pay the money and get it from BBTS. You know, it's more money than I want to pay for it, but I'll do it anyways. I don't care. Why not the Gundam Maxter Revolver? Because G Gundam sucks. That's why. Estrella is cool, though. I like Estrella because it's the predecessor to the Exia. That's why it's cool. Anyways, let's get started. We're got 22 people watching. We're at 8:37 p.m. And guys, this was a hell of an episode. There was so much shit to unpack in this episode.
Right.
Like I told you it was going to be like 60 pictures. Now, numerically speaking, it's over 60. But that's just how the numbering system was as I was going. But I think it's at least 45 pictures. And near the end, I actually was just skipping some stuff. So, guys, if you are new around here, for the most part, we kind of reorganized how we did this. I'm going to do the first half of the episode. He's going to take over the second half of the episode. And, of course, we'll interject with our own opinions and stuff like that. And I painstakingly went through and got a fuck ton of screen captures because I found out last week if you use a minute and a half of footage that's paused and silent repeatedly, they will copyright your video. So I still don't have monetization on my video from last week, even though I fought it. I got a whopping 37 cents so far from the 200 some odd streams that people have watched it, you know. So let me go over here to my screen share. This is that weird part where I stare at the screen and you're wondering what I'm doing. That's not the right thing. That's the right thing. We're going to go over here. We're going to hit the share button like that.
There we go.
Okay, I'm going to hide this. Okay, so now I have to come over here and get my notes. So, Gundam Build Divers ReRISE, episode 19. If it weren't for you, we wouldn't be in this mess. Isn't that how that end usually goes? So, basically, this one episode starts out right where we left off in the previous episode. So, it's actually kind of like, because originally we thought we were going to get 19 episodes in, and then they were going to take a break. But given how this episode goes, if they had taken a break there, people would have raged.
Yes.
Actually, taking a break here, coincidentally, was fine. So we pick up where that episode ended. You see Hiroto sitting there on the rock thinking to himself with the beautiful sunset, and the divers, you know, all keeping an equal distance away from him, as if, you know, they're social distancing. But they also go back, and May does ask him, you know, did you find what you were seeking? He's staring up at his damaged sniper rifle and said he never thought he'd use it again. Not since that day. Like, so obviously we know that day was way back when, during the coalition battle, where he had the 00 Sky in his sights. Now, we did sort of see this before, but not in this way, where he's got his eyes shaded and stuff like that. So in this time we see that he's very much not happy with the things that are going on. Sorry, I'm looking over at the chat there. Ignoring the elephant in the room until we get to the end, acknowledging it, but not acknowledging. Also, yes, guys, no spoilers. We're going through the episode in chronological order. So if you want to wait till the end of the thing, then we do that. Yes, this was a very backstory heavy episode, considering we have not gotten Hiroto's backstory. Really, we haven't. I mean, like, it's just sort of been there looming. You know, we got the stuff with Hinata talking about things. We'd never seen what happened to lead up to this. This is all about this. Oh, yeah, Gold Cat. This is truly Riku's fault. It has nothing to do with Riku. Stop blaming Season 1 divers for everything.
Right.
It's kind of wrong when people do that. So, of course, we see that he gets the 00 Sky in his sights again. But obviously he's very dejected. But I like the fact you also hear the chatter from the rest of the force. They're like, "Hey, the champion was defeated," and all this. So, yeah, if you go back and actually watch that battle from that season, it was actually pretty cool.
And it's interesting to me just how everybody on the radio is just freaking the heck out. And it also shows that where this point is, like the battle is already over, basically. Riku's beat the champion and he's flying off, and they're calling out for, it's like, what should we do? Anyone? Is there anyone?
Yeah, and of course, him being where he is, he actually could have stopped it. So, yeah. But obviously, given what happens by the end of this episode, it actually changes the weight of this moment, which we'll get more into next week. But we go to the intro right there, which is cool. We like the intro. That's what happens. And then we jump back. Yeah. And then we jump back into the real world, back at the seaside in the G Cafe. And we see the Strike Gundam. Whoop, apparently I didn't get that screenshot in there because I'm an idiot. We see the Strike Gundam actually boxed up and everything like that.
Yeah, it's still under construction, apparently.
Yeah, but see, I thought it was the other way around. I thought it was like when they're getting ready to tear it down. So I didn't realize this was like flashback. I thought this was current. So, and of course, he's talking to Hinata, which is cool. And so we see them walking, which is what this is. And so you can actually see all the scaffolding and everything like that. I gotta wonder, did people not know what it was? Like, how do you construct that? Is it? Yeah, it's Isle Strike, right? Yeah. Like, and people not see it? Like, I get like all these other one-to-one Gundams, you can usually sneak pictures and stuff. This one's obviously not 1-to-1. It's probably half size.
Considering we saw in an earlier shot, there's an angle above it. You can basically see like bits of the wings poking out the top.
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody could see what it was from one of the skyscrapers nearby or something.
I mean, even a drone,
a helicopter flying,
just like a drone over it, you could literally see what it is. But yeah, it's pretty cool. So basically, we find out that this is GBN Day. And after talking, she's asking him, so I guess we're going to be in a virtual world from now on. He's like, yep. And she's like, are you participating in the tournament today? He's like, no, I left my gunplay at home. So apparently he used to play GPD, which is cool.
Well, he specifically says he was going to participate.
But he didn't have a new Gundam to fight with.
Yeah.
He's out of ideas.
Had no ideas for a new Gunpla.
Which I find interesting. So he was in a rut back then, and he's like, just didn't have anything new to contribute, which I thought was weird. But given, this is a few years ago at this point, seemingly. We're the upside down box. What are they talking about in the chat? The best episode so far. You can see the box in the next screenshot. We're at the upside down box. Tell everyone to close their eyes. Oh, talking about the reveal of the kit. Yeah. Do we know why they made the switch to GBN? Because it made more sense. Like, we have this gigantic virtual world versus using these very large, expensive machines that put a weird coating on your kit and make it move that way. I'm sure technology-wise, it makes way more sense to use GBN instead of this. People don't have to travel the world. They can do it from a chair, But yeah, basically story. Yeah. So back to the notes. Sorry, I inhaled a lot of dust earlier. So they go into the G Cafe, and Hinata wins a free Gunpla kit, which is pretty cool, because they were the last of the first 100 people to come in. So everybody coming in got a free promotional dealie, and it's a little Gunpla. It's a little grandpa kit, which apparently is a speed grade, which is interesting. I assume that was a real thing at one point, or might be a real thing overseas, but I've never seen one personally.
Yeah, I've heard of it because I remember it coming up when I was doing research. It's like, I wonder what other scales there are for Gunpla. I was like, 1/200. That's interesting.
Part of me wondered if it was an FG, but it definitely not. But so they sit down to eat or drink or whatever, and she's like, "Hey, will you help me build it or show me how to build it?" And he's like, "We already built a petite guy together. It's the same thing. Just go build it." Which is slightly dickish to me. I was just like, this is your friend and a girl, and she clearly wants you to spend time with her so that she can also participate in your hobby with you. And you're like, "Oh, you're good."
He's just oblivious. He doesn't get that. She's like, "I want to spend time with you.
Yeah,
I like you."
yes. But basically, like I wrote in the notes, I said, he's like, they clearly built a petite guy together, so basically, you should know how to do it, woman. Just go. And so she's like, "Oh, okay. Maybe I should go buy some tools then. You want to go over to the shopping zone?" And he's like, "Yeah, we can do that." Sure. And to be honest,
oblivious to what she's trying to do.
100%. But I kind of wish that places like this did exist here. Like,
Yes.
I know there are some places that have something like a G Cafe and things like that. Like, obviously, battling is not a thing that's going to happen, even though, you know, they have the pods and other types of arcade Gundam machines. But like, nobody's got a Gundam flavored restaurant, so to speak. I know there is one somewhere. I don't remember where it is, but it might be in New York or something. But I thought there was one in Austin, but it might have closed. It was either Austin or San Antonio. I don't remember. If it was very short lived. But I just like the idea that there's a restaurant that's also like Gundam, you know, esque, and then you have the shopping zone. That's where all your kits, your tools, everything like that, and then even having probably a build zone, which I think they covered that in the first season, didn't they? Or at least they had that at the Gundam base. They did have like a building area where you could go and use an airbrush and all that stuff like that. Like, so if I win the lottery, perhaps I will set up something like that. And none of you can come. Okay. Speed grade is just proto universal unit. Viable large metropolitan areas. Yeah. You know, like one that I live near. But I mean, you make it epic enough, people will drive an hour or two to come to it. Like, seriously. Totally. So as they are heading over to said shopping zone, they hear some moaning. Aww. And you see this poor wreck of a heavy arms, and this poor little kid who is like, "Oh, my thing's all destroyed," and he's walking with his mom. I forget exactly what he said, but you can hear like cheers and oohs and ahs and stuff like that coming from down the way. But one thing I find really cool is this next thing where they have this awesome wraparound display of Gunpla that are here.
Oh, I didn't even think about looking at that.
Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff. So you can see Grandpa, Unicorn, Stargazer.
There's a Freedom down at the bottom, I think.
Yeah, that's a
like
Freedom. Yeah, that's Freedom next to a Zeta, next to an X. And then it gets a little bit blurry after that. I think there's an Exia next to Stargazer. I see a GPO2. Is that can't be a Barbatos next to the Stargazer? What is that? I don't know. Either way, it's pretty cool that there's all kinds of stuff.
From here. I'd have to look at the scene again.
Now, somewhere in there should be like that new Gundam that he built that we saw in previous flashbacks. So
that's right, because he did have something on display in the display case. This isn't the first time we've seen the case, but it's one of the first times we kind of see a wide shot of it.
Yeah. So I like this. You see down the hallway, you can see the shopping zone. You can see all the kits and stuff on the shelves, and you can see Ken-chan over there looking through the door into the battle room. Then you also get this big Gundam base like screen or whatever on the wall, and whatever that poster is of there. I don't know what that is. Either way. So they're like, "Hey, let's go see what that is." And they walk in, and there is a dude just frankly owning everybody. And you see this pile of leftover parts and a perfect grade strike. Because that's what you bring to go battle people.
That is just so
douchey.
I'd say cheap, but technically it's a very expensive kit.
Yeah. I think that's a pretty douchey thing to do there, to bring a perfect grade to a high grade battle. Most people are fighting with high grades. That's the thing that's insane.
Like that little kid was walking away with what I was pretty sure was the now new HGAC heavy arms.
Maybe it might have been an old one for all we know. It could have been an old school 1/100 version. It's absurd and awesome that Hiroto can just jam. Hey, Androius, don't skip ahead.
We're getting there.
You know the rules. We're not there yet.
I told all of you to be on your best behavior.
Exactly. Don't piss me off tonight. I will put you in timeout. I thought it was weird to let this dude use PG versus high grades. I mean, do they stop him? What are the rules? We never established rules for GPD.
I mean, obviously he's doing this right now, and the owner guy is right there, and he's not stopping him. He's obviously not happy that this is going on, but there must not be a rule against this kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, Blockio has a good point that since it's the last tournament, that maybe they just said do whatever. But I have a feeling this dude has just been rocking this thing through all these different things. But I just thought about something. For the most part, these machines appear to be a one-on-one machine, right? Like one person on either side. That's how we've only ever seen them used, one-on-one. But we see
at least in this universe,
but we see him fighting 3 people at once.
Huh.
I just realized that. So we see him wipe out.
Maybe, I mean, we know in the Gundam Fighters universe, that system could have any number of fighters.
Because they just had a basic station around at any given point you could. But even like the basic ones, you could have at least 2 people battling at a time, or even 3 people later in try. But this one, there's only 2 area to battle, unless they had more on the side. I didn't really look at it, but it is interesting to see that. And yes, they did have that mega-sized Zaku that was in Build Fighters, but that was also a mistake. That wasn't supposed to be there. It wasn't supposed to be used for that. It's supposed to be used for a special event. That was meant as a boss battle for everyone to go after it. Not one jackass rolling in there with a perfect grade to wipe the floor with everybody. Speaking of which, there's a jackass. I'm trying to figure out like who he's supposed to like represent, because he's got like a bunch of different characters kind of going on in my mind.
At first glance, he makes me think of that one guy in Build Fighters that had the what was the Leo Valkyrie or something like that.
Leo Valkyrie.
It was the green Leo. He was friends with
That's Tallgeese Valkyrie.
Tallgeese Valkyrie, thank you.
That's bad. You just called Tallgeese a Leo. But no, that guy had a buzz cut and blonde hair, so I don't know.
But he was also like a big buff dude, so that was
he was big compared to all the kids around him, and he was an army guy, so buff. Yeah. To me, he's like a little bit of Dozel, a little bit of Akihiro from IBO, and then I don't know where the mullet comes in. Because
I can't think of Gundam characters with mullets off the top of my head. So.
No, he is straight up mulleting.
Mullets, I should say, because that is straight up serious business up front, party in the back mullet.
That is a hardcore mullet. I don't even think they ever say his name. He's just some guy.
No, they mentioned that he's like been clearing it up on all the farewell tournaments.
Yeah, they just say he's just going around trying to, rock his way through the freaking tournaments. I don't know why I'm stuck on that term, rock his way. But it is. I'm just stuck on it. I'm sorry. But supposedly, as you go through these tournaments in different areas, it's like Pokemon. You collect all your badges.
Yes.
So, and I assume that these are all flavored a different way. So we've got an Omni one, which is, I believe that's Seed. I think I could be wrong.
I believe so, yes.
And then you got Gundam Base Minato. I'm not exactly sure what that's referred to. I can't tell what that V-fin is, but it's GP Dual Tournament. Master something. I can't read the gold one down there. That looks like just a regular grandpa.
Yeah, the gold one looks like it's based off of the I think it was the Gundam 30th logo.
It could be, yeah. then you got the Plamo Simulation GP Duel with the big like eye there. That's pretty cool. Gundam Base Up Rush. So presumably going to different locations. But then like the GPD God Halos or Halos, but it's a Haro. So is that just how they spell it?
I think it's a mistransliteration or something like that, because R's and L's can get transposed real easily in the Japanese language.
Well, I knew that part. That's why I wondered if that's what was going on there. But I just want to know what happened in that one. Did we have to fight with nothing but Haros? That would be ridiculous. Just bring your most ridiculous Haro. And then you got this...
maybe that's where all the mobile Haros and Haro loaders are actually... We're just not getting to see any of those fights.
Yeah. So this is GPD 66 CE only cup. I'm drawing a blank off the top of my head. What is the CE universe? That's somebody help us out here.
Cosmic Century is Seed, but CE, because that sounds familiar.
He said it's Seed.
Okay.
Bakio says CE is Seed. I forget what it stands for. Like, I know it, and it's just not registering in my brain. Oops, not Wing. No, Wing is
After Colony.
After Colony. That's AC. CE. Cosmic Era. That's what it is.
Cosmic Era. There we go.
Thank you, Scarlet Rain. It was in my head. Oh, Plasmark said it earlier. Okay, so like there were no comments, and then there were like 9 comments. It went from okay, I saw that, and then boom, everything. Colonization era. That's not a thing. So it makes sense if he went through a bunch that were seed related, and he's got a freaking giant seed kit, you know. Oh, that's not my notes. That's my notes. But yeah, I like the idea that you get different types of things from different championships, which makes sense. And then Hiroto's like
the level badges that they tried doing in when they released Gunpla in America for the first time.
You just got a comment vomit, apparently. We all said it. Yeah, eventually you all said it, but yours was the only one I saw until I realized everyone did it. Okay, anyways. So
onward.
Onward. So yeah, basically Hiroto had walked up and said, "What's going on?" He's like, "Oh, Hiroto, I wish you were fighting today." Apparently, you know, I guess even back then he was still a badass battler, not just a great builder. Because we've clearly seen his building skills be touted, but never his battling skills until now. Of course, we never knew he was part of GPD, so I guess you would. But and then that's when he talks about the dude going all over. But other guys come over and they beg him to take him down. Basically, look, he beat all of us. You got to do this. Excuse me. But this is where I also forget that Hiroto's last name is Kugo. Because Kugo, you got to save us, basically. So, because we only ever hear him called Hiroto. I always forget his name is Hiroto Kugo. Or Kugo Hiroto.
Kuga.
Damn, we got 28 people watching. This early, we have 28 people watching. See, they were all waiting. That's all it was. Okay, so basically, these dudes walk up on him. And okay, so you weren't paying attention when I was talking about earlier. You didn't pay attention. So I think you guys mentioned this back when the teaser first happened. Are these two guys original Gundam references? Because one guy, other than hair color, looks a lot like Kai Shiden. And then the other guy looks like Hayato, right?
They really do. When you pointed that out to me, I was like, I don't know. And then I brought up their entries on Gundam Wiki, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because straight up, like, their character models from first Gundam, though I think 30. Kai had a little bit longer hair. Maybe.
Yeah, well, Kai's hair was a little bit different. But the eyes and things, now he has freckles too, so that's a little bit different. And like the other kid, Hayato's hair was a little bit messier, but seems super referential. Yeah. So it's pretty cool, like that they threw out that reference. Now these guys aren't even named or anything like that. Now, if they were using a gun tank and a gun cannon, that would have been cool.
That would have been hilarious.
Yeah. it's the guys from Gundam. Yeah, it is. It's interesting. So they're like, hey, you got to save us. And so basically he's, oh, dang it. Once again, I did not put the pictures in the right order. So I have it to where like, he's like, I don't have my Gunpla with me. And of course he looks back at Hinata, who's looking at the shelf, and she's like, what? And then holds up the speed grade with a really funny look on her face.
She's like, this?
Yeah, exactly. Like, she's like, my kid? Like, really? And then, but the funny thing is, he says nothing to her at all. And she knows exactly what he needs. So she's a very good waifu.
Yes, indeed.
Even though he doesn't treat her like a waifu because he's a fucking idiot. So basically, leading up to the picture that I have here, which would be the tiny grandpa versus giant strike battle. And I love the idea because, once again, we haven't covered GPD, but only a couple times throughout both of the series and all the seasons. And it's cool that they set it on the thing, and there's no Plavsky particles. There's just whatever this coating is. You know, it gets scanned in, it gets coded in this stuff, and then it gets animated that way, which is pretty cool. But what I always found interesting about this, physical damage from physical weapons makes sense to me. How do beam weapons exist that work in this universe without Plavsky particles of some sort?
Yeah, because Plavsky in fighters, they said that they used the Plavsky particles to recreate the beam effects and stuff like that. They specifically say that. But there's so much that hasn't been said about what do they call again? GPD.
GPD. Yeah.
Because it's easy to try to make the assumptions that it works just like the Plavsky particle system, but we don't really have that information.
Yeah, exactly. It's got to be something, but we don't know. Michael Tran, actually, that is a question that I was asking. I wonder what his Gunpla that he used to battle with was. Was it the new Gundam that we saw him build that he won awards with, or was it something totally different? We just hear that he doesn't have his normal battling Gunpla with him. So we have to assume that... What?
If it was the new Gundam that he made, that
it would be there.
But that also would make one of Alice's future projects very interesting.
Yeah, but how would he access that information?
I don't know.
Like we already know that the fake new is coming, but I assume he just references somebody else who has a new Gundam and goes, "Okay, that's good. Let's go with that." Because Hiroto never uses the new Gundam in GBN.
No, he does. You're totally right. He doesn't. But I mean, Alice is also getting a little obsessive, so maybe he somehow digs up information about that.
Actually, I'm going to come back to that.
Okay.
Due to the teaser we got last week and a comment I made that I corrected later on. Let's see here. This fight with the seed that planted the idea of the core Gundam. Like that. They don't tell us, but equipment looks like GBN. That's a probably similar system. Yeah, but GBN is all fake. It doesn't do anything but scan the Gundam in.
But it maybe animates it because we do see like the head come up and the eyes glow.
Which makes no sense. Let's just be honest. I think that's just for effect.
Totally. That's just for coolness points.
Yeah. See, the thing is that also they have to physically be in the same location for GPD to work. Or GBD. No, GPD. GPD. I don't know why I always forget that. Either way. I really wish I could have picture and note in the same movement. So either way, he hops into the battle, and once again, I didn't put the freaking thing. I actually had the screenshot of where he pulls out the beam saber and the strike is walking towards him.
Yeah.
So basically, he gets his ass handed to him in the first couple swipes because he can't even get close. If he could, his weapons aren't even strong enough to hurt this thing. Because even the guy even says, like, what are you going to do against this? I forgot what the phase shift armor, which was always fucking stupid. I don't even know what that was. But basically, so he gets wrecked, loses an arm, loses his weapons and stuff like that. But camera, and he notices, oh, here's a pile of parts. And of course, we see, a couple swords. We see a heavy arms thing. What looks to be like a normal blaster. Kind of hard to tell. I assume that's the surfboard thingy over there, the purple thing.
Maxter, yeah.
Is that what that is? Okay. Okay. One thing I also didn't notice on the screen, you got select, start, weapon, HUD, weapon, monitor, compass, and menu. That's pretty cool. So like on the screen, you got this bunch of stuff. Also, did anybody else have that moment when he started and it said Ready Player 2 and he had their grandpa? Like, come on. It's like, why couldn't it have been Ready Player 1 and just gave us all the reference we wanted? But either way, because Hiroto is basically a badass,
yes,
he can just make use of any situation he's in. And that's something that he has. But, this is what I get for not looking at my notes. The other dude literally starts off mocking him about how small his Gundam is because it's a speed grade, when in fact he's using a perfect grade and definitely overcompensating for something. So he's got no reason to talk to anybody about something being too small. So the guy's literally like, this is it, whatever. And he picks up the sword and goes to slice him, and he comes whoosh out of the dirt there. And basically, he makes use of everything that's laying in front of him.
Yes.
But he takes off on a core of a crossbone Gundam, which is crazy, which I didn't even realize was actually right there on the edge of the screen. And he's literally surfing on it. But I want to know how the heck you can just pick up somebody else's core fighter and use it. I mean, I could get...
There's a lot of questions here that are best left unasked because it's too cool.
Yeah. I don't know what they're arguing about in the thing. Either way, so what I love here is, one, it takes him by surprise that he just comes flying out of the smoke on this thing. Two, he flies up, flips around real quick, and then jumps off of the thing, sending it flying at the big old strike boy. And then, once again, I forgot the fucking picture. The core fighter ends up in the barrel of the rifle, exploding. Seriously, how did I manage this? Like, I pasted them to my notes, but forgot to save the picture itself. So lots of face palms. Funny thing is, I think from here on out, I'm pretty good, but up to that point, I've really screwed the pooch on that one. Either way, so after that explodes, he comes flying across on the Maxter's, like, hoverboard, for lack of a better term. And he opens fire with a bazooka. I don't know if that was his or one of the ones he picked up. I think it was from the possibly from the unicorn. But
I was thinking it might have been from the Gabaldi Alpha.
I guess. What, baby? Okay. Okay, go lay down. Love you. She's going to bed a little bit early because her tooth is hurting. And so also he has the shoulder from the heavy arms like held at his hip and just fires off all those missiles, and which is cool, but they're not really doing much. They're just kind of annoying him.
Yeah, that's the part where he says, like, these are physical attacks. They don't do anything against phase shift armor.
Yeah. And then that's when he gets eyes full of blades.
It reminds me of the, you refer to as the fuck you moment with the sniper rifle, where it's like, mock, okay.
Exactly. And they said those are the Shigeru blades. What were those from anyways?
I tried to look it up in it, like in the Gundam Wikia, and it brought up the Gundam FX or HFX.
I don't remember it having swords. It had a rifle and it had things. What's up, Eric? See here. Mullet Man doesn't even have beam sabers. He's only rocking the little armor Schneiders. Yeah, I would assume that too. But yeah, at this point, he's like, I took out my main camera. Oh, well, I can still fight you. And Hiroto's like, oh, yeah? But he ends up attacking him because he decides to arm himself with the unicorn's rifle.
Plus, everybody knows you can't just fire off the beam magnum.
Yes, but I'm making the joke that he armed himself. Lovey just grabs the unicorn arm, screws it in place, like, and then hands himself the beam magnum, and literally just another fuck you moment right in the face. But I love that it's so powerful that it not only blows off the arm that fired the gun, but the other arm, you know, it's just like boof, and blows him off the hoverboard. That's insane. And he goes for the headshot because he's not like Thor. He goes for the head.
Yes.
Jason says they were from the Age 1.
Oh, maybe from the...
Yeah. Actually, that makes sense. That's the only... I haven't built the Age 1 Spallo because it's never in stock, so I never can get it.
Oh, the Swallow? Okay, yeah.
Sparrow.
I want to get that one, too, because it's so cool looking. But...
Yeah, because it had the one sword around its back, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, because it was all ninja-like.
I think he used them to make a smoke screen. Yeah, that makes sense. But it was moving around pretty quick as it was. I see what you did there. There's so many comments going by because you have to monitor the comments because I'm reading. I can't look at it. Beam Magnum's recoil is a killer, but I love the idea that they did what long before it existed, what the Silver Bullet. I'm drawing a blank here. The latest Silver Bullet. Narrative.
Yeah, I know the one you're talking about. I've just been.
Why am I drawing a blank there? Either way, that Silver Bullet, we're going to have to swap the arms out every time it uses the beam magnum. That's pretty awesome. But this brought up an interesting point. He was fighting a unicorn with distractions of other people fighting. This guy couldn't get a headshot off to save himself. I mean, he does have a massive shield, but wait, does it have a shield? Hold on.
I think it does.
Let me look back. Looking at the wrong
I'm pretty
spots.
sure it's equipped with the beam rifle, the shield.
Yeah, it has a shield and a sword. Yeah, so he had a shield
or something like that. I think it's called.
I don't remember the Choblum
shield. The big sword is from a specific version of Strike. I think it's
suppressor. Thank you.
What's that?
Silver Bullet suppressor.
Suppressor. There we go.
Yeah. No, I've only seen that sword with the perfect grade strike. I don't know of it from anything else. But I don't know where it came from series wise because he didn't have that.
I usually see it associated with like the
Grand Slam.
Grand Slam. Okay.
Okay.
You usually see it associated with the perfect version of the strike where it has all the weapon packs and stuff, which makes sense because that's the latest perfect grade that came out. So of course they're advertising that, but he doesn't have all the equipment on.
Hida wants to know why he doesn't understand why the Silver Bullet suppressor didn't use arm funnels instead of arm swapping. Because it's easier for a machine to just grab the arm and slap it on than have an arm fly around and hopefully land in the right spot. Plus, if you're fighting a machine that has psycho control, do you want more things for it to be able to control, like your arm?
Oh yeah, that was the big problem with it. Yeah. Fighting against the Phoenix. Yeah.
So if you're going to fight something, or realistically, you would have been using it up against the Sinanji Stein and the Neo Zeong too, which has ridiculous psycho control of anything at once, essentially. Or the Phoenix would have done it too. So yeah, you don't want things that can be controlled remotely, especially that hold your gun. But if you're going to do that, then just have beam magnum arms to just go around, but you'd have to have a power source. If you don't have something strong enough, doesn't matter. Either way, Grand Slam is one of Strike's original weapons, just like a duel was supposed to use a bazooka. Yeah. So things where they had them as original weapons, but they didn't use them. But my point was, you had a unicorn on the battlefield that couldn't pull this off, but a tiny crappy Grandpa Gundam could do it and win.
It probably is it was probably like some kid was piloting the unicorn.
That's obvious, but still the fact that he took him out honestly fairly easy once he saw what he had at his disposal. He didn't have a plan when he went in there. He developed that plan once he saw the crap on the ground, but very quickly analyzed what was available and then just went at it. Literally picked up everything he needed in the order he needed it and beat the guy within like 30 seconds. You know, and he's literally,
he MacGyvered it.
Kind of. He literally MacGyvered it. I love this image here, though. Like, it has no other damage, just its head's blown off. Like, he did no damage to the body, just took the head out. It's like, well, that's all you need. You can't do anything once the head's gone, at least in this case. And like, the guy is so dejected, and then he eventually goes, "That was awesome." It's like,
that's something I like about this. Is like they could have just had him be like, "No, you cheated," but he's like, "No, good job, man, GG."
Yeah. But my whole point, guys, was that if he had other people there as a distraction, he should have stayed back to shoot with the unicorn. Like, there were at least 3 other people in that battle that all got wiped out in like two moves. And that's only the part of the battle we saw. There was a room full of kids that he probably plowed through, you know? So, I mean, if everybody applied what Hiroto did to their own parts, odds are they would have beat him. But they just weren't that good. Like, technically speaking, his Gunpla didn't win. Their Gunpla did. Think about that. That was a victory for everyone there at the seaside. I forgot. I had it written down.
Seaside Gundam base?
Hold on. They actually had their group. I wrote it down up here. And I walked right. Seaside Base Builders. So, yeah. That's what their group name was called, Seaside Base Builders. That's pretty awesome, not gonna lie. But then, you know, this is when he does get that inspiration that tiny Gunpla can do a thing. So yay! And then suddenly GBN is a thing.
Yep.
It's opening day, presumably. And Ken-chan telling him about the diver gear. Here's your diver gear, it does the thing. So get to it. And he's like, "Oh, hey, you got a new Gundam there." "Yeah, it's tiny. It's cool." It's like, I think in GBN, there are things I can do, even with a small Gunpla. So there we go. We actually get it in its G3 colors.
G3 colors. It's not the G3 colors.
It's coincidentally, the only one I don't have. Which kind of annoys me that I can't get a V2 right now. Seen definitely from Build Divers instead of ReRISE. I know that it's in something or other from Astray. Birth of the Smallest HG. Is it the smallest HG? You have to compare it to the Lotto, I think. Because Lottos are tiny. Build fighters rather than ReRISE. Yeah. Well, I think that's what they're trying to do a little bit as bridge. You know what? I should probably... No, actually, Joe knows that. So Joe KW that I interviewed a few weeks ago, he's waiting till ReRISE is over to watch the series. So I told him, I was like, dude, you got to watch it. It's good. But he's just the kind of person who can't wait week to week.
Fair enough, I suppose.
Yeah. Does the petite mobile suit count? Technically, the smallest HG would be the petite guy, wouldn't it? Since that's actually also a thing.
Yeah.
So the petite guy is already small, but then it also has a tiny petite guy with it. So I guess that's the thing. Seraphim is small. Seraphim is not that small. Seraphim is a decent sized Gundam. It's just skinny. You know, it's a little bit shorter than like Exia, but it's not that small. What else would be smaller? Jin Archer is pretty small, but still probably a little taller than the core Gundam. Maybe I'll have to
the Haropla?
Yeah, but that's not necessarily an HG. Haropla are their own thing. Yeah, technically, yeah, they're not HG. They're their own kit. Because otherwise it would be, you know, immeasurably small.
The
HG balls the balls are technically not that small in comparison. I guess if you're saying short, sure. But like it's a decent sized thing. And scale wise really doesn't seem to make sense even in that scale. Either way. Oh, petite mobile suit. I don't know what that is. You're just saying words now.
I don't think there's any kits for the petite mobile suit. I know what you guys are talking about, but at the very least, there's no modern kits for it.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Either way, he jumps into the dive, and we actually see him end up at the hub, so to speak. Oh, by the way, one thing I didn't notice until this episode, the little black stripes or whatever on the shoulders are actually, I guess, thrusters.
Yeah, there's little mechanical details in there.
Yeah, but they don't have that on
not present on the kit.
No, but I make sure that I paint those on every single one.
Same.
So he goes to the hub.
Armor for him.
Yeah, so we see the hub. Now, I did want to point out some interesting details here, such as the Bear Guy Fest. Did we not see Bear Guy Fest in ReRISE? Didn't they have a whole Bear Guy Festival thing?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And then we also, off to the right, we have the Spring Gion Festival. That's pretty cool. And it's got like a lotus flower emblem there. Mm-hmm. But then the thing to the left is the one that I find interesting, the Dark History Screening Party.
Huh.
What the hell is that? Oh, also, if you look, I didn't notice this. Look at the globe. I think those are Gundam bases that they're showing off. You're looking at Africa. It's got two things marked. That's Mount Kilimanjaro base, is what that says.
That might be a reference to First Gundam, because I know there was stuff that happened in either First Gundam or Gundam Zeta. There was battles in Africa around there. So
I didn't know if this was related to real world or in universe.
Mm-hmm.
I can't read this one. The one that's on the left side. The fact that I could read that said Kilimanjaro base, considering how blurry it is,
I'm impressed.
I just can't believe I could tell what it was. Okay, cool. Thanks for that info. What? You played Gundam on 360. G Gundam was smaller than the others. God Gundam was small. Yeah, anything from that particular run is pretty tiny. Heard that a screaming party.
Dark History Screaming Party would also be appropriate.
I don't even want to know. I didn't want to know what that is. One of the Gunpla customized campaigns came with a 1/144 petite mobile suit as part of like Unicorn beginning, but not really a kit.
There's also the mobile workers from IBO.
Yeah, but there's also like is it a mobile worker? The thing that comes with the HG Sniper or Gym Sniper 2 has the little tiny orange guy. I wouldn't call it a kit. It's essentially one piece, but no, wait, it is posable. I call it a kit. Fuck it. That's the smallest HG in my opinion. Moving on. Either way, I wanted to point out the fact there's some cool stuff on the screen there because most people probably would not even pay attention to it. I do want to know what the other thing is off to the right that's in red, but it's not readable. You can sort of see it. Hold on. Atmosphere. Okay, there's some kind of atmospheric thing.
Maybe it's like an atmospheric re-entry contest or something. I don't know.
Actually, hold on. Yeah, I think that says I think that says re-entry. I think you're right. Maybe it's training, but yeah, I think that says atmospheric re-entry. That's funny. I look at the details, guys. That's how I end up translating an alien language. But he hops in the core Gundam for the first time. You see him kind of flying, and he's having some weird issues. And then all of a sudden, he has like a nice failure there. Gunpla condition, which I really dig the screen here. So his main thruster just goes, "Hey, I don't want to work anymore."
I love how when it's flying around, you see it like burns
sputters
out a couple of times, and before he just crashes super hard like a noob.
Yeah, or as I put it in the notes, he landed. By that I mean he crashed. But I think it's interesting. Obviously, minor spoilers for post conversation, but the idea that you can have a real world issue with your Gunpla that translates into malfunctions in the game, which is weird.
Interesting.
But yeah,
it's kind of like how in Build Fighters, real world changes you make to the Gunpla translate to buffs or debuffs.
Yeah.
So like if you use metal rods in there, it increases your strength. If you put super glue all in your joints to keep them from falling apart, that translates to the game.
Yeah, if you don't clean up your nub marks, your Gunpla will suck. In theory. Hashtag nub shaming. Wasn't it what? People are just going. I think Kilimanjaro also came up in another AU briefly. I don't think it wasn't in Kilimanjaro, the orbital elevators. I don't believe that's where it was. That was in the middle of an open plain. So I don't believe that was near that mountain. Little Gunplas hit the ground softer. That's funny. But yeah, as I put it, he made an emergency landing, and by that I mean he crashed. Hey, any crash you can walk away from. It's a launch pad.
I mean, technically, the core Gundam looks okay-ish.
Yeah, it just got a few dings.
Sitting on its butt, but
yeah. So I like this shot. Just gorgeous. Like they just threw money at the visual budget in this episode, but like he's actually kind of mad at it. He actually ends up going to kick it. Like I thought,
he's about to like kick the ground. He's like just 2 steps away from basically just having a full-on temper tantrum rage quit moment.
He wanted to rage quit. And like I think he legit was gonna kick it like in the arm and just go, dang it.
Yeah.
Because he even says, if I have this here, like this wouldn't have happened if it were an actual Gunpla. And I like how he's looking at the wrinkly damage there on the arm. I do like the idea we got to see the scale of the core to him, so you see how small it truly is. But of course, just as he says that, some girl just walks up and says, "Hey, nice Gunpla." Literally, like as if from nowhere, just
literally from nowhere.
From nowhere, just poof, right behind him. Which, by the way, this was the image from the thumbnail, or one of the images from the thumbnail. Because, as usual, I like to merge several images when I make my cool thumbnails. Is there a nub mark there? I don't think that's a nub mark. I think that's damage from hitting the ground. Though, if it was a nub mark, it would be interesting to see that it shows up as like really crappy armor, you know, or a maybe more of a gouge, so to speak, not necessarily a nub mark. But it would be interesting to see, like, if there was, oh my god, they need to have a beginner Gunpla shown up close that has little nubs.
I remember mentioning before, like, I would think it would be really interesting if there was a character in a series like this that it's very obvious that this is like one of their first builds. So when they make the actual Gunpla kit for this character, they actually mold in nub marks or gouges or something like that. Just make it look bad on purpose.
Well, we know that real world effects affect how it gets scanned in, because that's how the 00 Sky always had the scar on its chest. He left it there. He could have fixed it. Nub shaming is not cool. Yes, it is. That's why there's a shirt. Blatant nubs, especially for Nick. Never drop off a kit to be reviewed with nubs all over it. And I don't mean like it's just not buffed perfectly. I mean fucking nubs on the kit. Anyways, imagine uncemented seam lines might probably make your Gunpla fall apart in game. I don't think so, unless it's something that would legit fall apart. Because it's not like seam lines are a perfect weak spot. It's just how they're made. I assume in game that just reads as a completed set of armor, you know? Because these don't. Because when they get destroyed, they don't fall apart like Gunpla. They just kind of, digitize out. You know, it's not like a real battle where your arm would break on a seam or at a pivot point, you know?
Yeah, and Build Fighters, they did it like that, if I remember correctly. Sometimes they did a combo of like real world damage and stuff, but usually you would see the joints pop up and you could see them.
Yeah, somebody had an arm pop off the socket because it was too loose or something like that, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
But like he's like, hey, well, what's your name? And she just smiles at him because everything about this becomes a really strange conversation.
It really does.
But to me, hey, look, this pretty girl just appeared out of nowhere and is talking to you in a very nice tone of voice and is complimenting your Gunpla. But he basically says, "Yeah, I just built it, but I haven't had a chance to tune it up yet." And then she's like, "It wants to go on adventures with you." And he says, "Thank you for building me." Right. I need an adult.
Yeah.
I am an adult. But anyways, seemingly much like Sarah, she can read and feel the feelings and thoughts of the Gumpla, which is fucking weird because like it was always kind of passed off as like okay, except for when it had a real reaction in the first series, especially when Sarah was around. But it's interesting that she can literally read its feelings as if it's a real thing. He's like,
real
it's
thinking thing.
but it's not real. It's just the data of my kid back in the world. No, it's really here. Just like you're here too. And part of me thinks that all of GBN is a little bit more than anyone thinks it is.
That is something we have been wondering about, right?
Yeah, because we know that later iterations of GBN, especially like we know now, includes smell and other sensory things that they have way more than they did in the first go around. This is early days of GBN, literally. Like first day, at least for him. But the idea that like she's like, no, it's really here, and so are you. I guess in a way, because they're diving, that's true.
Well, and we know she's an L diver. So to her, and I have this written down in my notes, like virtual reality is just as real as actual reality is to us. And that's something that's kind of touched on with May, where she comments that about like Eldora being even before they were 100% certain if it was real or not. It's like, this place is just as real to me because of who I am.
Your world, what does it matter? You know, all the worlds are real to me. But what I'm getting at is she says it's really here. And the funny thing is, like, you know, he's sitting there standing next to his Gumpla that is basically life size, so to speak. And to him, it's like not there. And this always has led me to believe that despite the fact that there are controls in your hand, that you're not pushing buttons and like steering your body around.
No, it always
it's always registered as a diving thing. Like they're
the fidelity of the movement that they do, the fact that he was kicking his feet, that he almost kicked his foot, stopped for a moment, and then looked like he was going to kick the dirt or something like that.
Yeah,
that's not something you can
do
program
with a VR
into
game. Yeah,
that's not him controlling it with his thoughts.
Yeah, so just it's always registered as a VR game in practice, but it has never made sense in how they do things. Like it has always made more sense. This is a full dive. It's just depending on the level of, you know, they're actually hitting these sensory parts of the brain later, so that you can smell and taste. Well, presumably taste things. Like somebody mentioned, you see Cosme drinking something. It's like, yeah, but that may not even have a real interaction. It's like literally the action of just turning up the cup and whatever. But yes, Gordon, I see you there. But yeah, basically all this conversation is so freaking weird. And yeah, she does come off sounding like a GBN hippie, so to speak. But then he's like, well, what's it called? And he's like, Core Gundam. It just now came up with that. Like, that's weird that like it just came to him like right then. Almost as if it told him its name. And then she's like, well, what's your name? And he's like, it's Hiroto. She's freaking nosy. I don't know if you've caught this. She just comes in asking questions like out of nowhere and not answering any.
No, and she just every question she just brushes off with a giggle.
Yes, exactly. By the way, Maggie is spelled with an I, guys. It's not Magi. But then he does ask her name. It's like, well, what's your name? And then she has to think for a second, and then she goes, Eva. So she didn't have a name. She just came up with a name.
Yeah, she obviously just gave herself her name there.
Yeah. So to me,
either that or she was like trying to figure out a name that could be pronounceable by his human tongue or something like that.
Well, she's speaking English, so presumably anything she came up with, he would be able to say. But I think she thought about the ramifications of who she is and just went Eve. Because this episode alludes to some very interesting concepts of who and what she really is. But yeah, either way, the fact that she didn't have a name and had to come up with one. And I guess for somebody new to GBN, like Hiroto, he would just go, okay, that's her screen name, her avatar name, or whatever. Like, you just came up with it. Like, obviously people will have to put one in when they log in, but you could always change that, or you just tell them some other bullshit name.
Yeah, and it's not like they have their names above their heads like Sword Art Online or something.
Yeah, exactly. That's one thing we'd never see is like, nobody's level or anything like that. Like always the stats or something like that, like Sword Art did. But I like the fact that she starts talking again, like, oh, it's hurting. And he turns and goes to log out. Like slightly off screen, like sort of behind the Gundam. He literally goes whoop and he goes to log out. And she's like, oh, are you leaving? And he's like,
And what I love about that scene is she doesn't even look away from the Gundam.
Yeah.
She's looking directly at it, and he's bringing up the menu. It's like, oh, you leaving? And not even looking at him. Just like, it's like, you're leaving? That's kind of a shitty thing to do when I'm standing right here still.
And still talking. Like, he was totally going to ghost her. Like, think about the dick move that this is. You're sitting there having a conversation with somebody talking about their Gunpla, and literally just disappears in front of you. Like, dick, like, come on. Like, they're like, I gotta go, and hangs up on the conversation. But she catches him in, and she's like, yeah, it's hurting. He's like, what? Yeah, go check around the back. And he's like, okay, that's like, really weird.
It's like, you're creepy. This entire conversation is making me uncomfortable. I'm gonna go.
He's like, I don't know what's happening. What's really strange is this area he's in is empty. There is no one else around. So it leads me to believe like this is like his area, so to speak. Like, it's still early days, so I'm assuming there's not, 5 billion people on GBN yet.
The owner guy told him, it's like, one of the first things you should do is go in and go to a test area.
Yeah, so I assume it's an empty area for you to figure out your shit.
Yeah.
Like a Minecraft flat world, so you don't really screw anything up. Get used to the gravity. Yeah, that's the word. I did not think that's how word was said, because I read something else as I was saying gravity. I'm like, no, that's not a real word. Never mind. Sephiroth. Yeah. XXX Sephiroth XX. Yeah. Wait, do they ever talk about how the language differences between players get handled? Yes, everyone speaks Japan English. They're obviously all speaking Japanese, but they all come from different parts of the world, but they all clearly are speaking the same language to each other.
And all the menus are in English.
All the menus are in English, except when you see something like a name of a force or something from another country, then it'll come up in that language, like, Chinese or English or Japanese. That happened. We've seen that on screen. So this is, like I said, Japan English. Or Japanglish. Japan English. There we go. Let's see here. So player user page, Cosme is shown looking at Hiroto's page, waiting for him to come online. Yeah, I know you can do that, but you have to be on the same team. I go someone too if they caught me alone and started asking me questions. Yeah, especially if this is supposed to be your practice world. They're just another person that just is talking really creepy. Either way, he leaves, goes back home, and he decides to take heed in what she says. So he takes the Gundam, and he must have like done some stuff. So he's like pulling this backpack until it cracks off. Like, He is either
and he's struggling too. The backpack is not wanting to come off.
Yeah, so I think he glued it. I think he glued
or something, yeah. Because I built the core Gundam, and that backpack, it goes on.
It's not that
pretty
loose.
easily, and I imagine it uses a similar connector.
Yeah, obviously we built what he has, but the fact that what is that picture? Dang it!
Adorable.
Oh no, that's just part of that conversation. This is the reverse problem. I didn't put the picture in the notes, but I put it in the thing. Either way, that's what she's talking to him. I just wanted a really nice picture of them. That was going to be one of the thumbnails. Sorry, that's the picture I was looking for. Was where he had some nub kibble behind the backpack. Like it was inside the connector of the backpack, and that kept the thruster from working. Too. Yeah, so that must have just been shavings. Which, given that this thing is essentially a scratch build, maybe very, very minor kit bash, how did they just miss nubs? Like, and it's painted. The whole thing is painted. Nothing is going to be a factory color here. It didn't come from a fucking factory.
Right.
Somebody walking in on your alone time. Yeah. But yeah, no, it's just. Oh, and I also love the fact that he's got a knife just like this one. I love that. So he's got that same slide out knife there. But that's pretty cool. I gotta wonder what this grandpa thing is.
Yeah, I was wondering that too.
I don't know what it is, Thomas. I thought it was like a guide or a build mat because that's something about 10 meters there. Okay,
I mean,
so the next,
it's obviously it's just like work mat or something like that. I'm just wondering which version of grandpa that's supposed to be.
Judging by the details, it might be a 3.0.
That makes sense.
But anyways, what I assume is the next day he goes back in and the core Gundam is all better. He's flying around like perfectly. All the things is good. And then he just pops in and goes to land, and then instantly the sensor goes off and she's waving at him. Like she was literally standing right there. Oh yeah, I did forget to mention that like she stopped to go look and saw that he like just barely missed like a flower and like a dandelion. So he did not crush those things. Obviously, that comes up quite a lot in flashbacks and other things like that in the first season. And she's like, well, that seemed to have gone well. And he asked, like, wait, how did you know what was wrong? And she answers with a question. Because she's a dick. So what do you want to do with it? It's like, if you convey your feelings into it, it'll react better. Right. So, like, if you put your real feelings into this thing, then it'll do better at the things you want it to do.
Believe in the heart of the cards.
Yes, but believe in the heart of the pla. And so he's like, I just want it to be strong and good at Gunpla battle. Got to get down there and pwn all the noobs. Even though he's technically a noob. And she's like,
they're all noobs.
Yeah, everybody's a noob. She's like, nah, fam. And she's like, well, it's a small Gunpla. There's things here in GBN that even a small Gunpla can do. She basically quotes exactly what he said. And then like even continues on, and she's like, isn't that the feeling you built it with? And then he's like, how do you even know that? And she's like, well, you know, GBN is brand new. It was just born, but it's got endless possibilities, just like Gunpla. You can do whatever. And during all this, you get these montages as she's talking, and you get this first shot of him designing the core Gundams, including a pink one that I just now noticed.
The pink coloration there is very similar to the core ReRISE.
Oh, the Anima ReRISE version?
Which doesn't make any sense because that doesn't belong to Hiroto. That belongs to somebody else.
Yeah, that's from a side story. Hold on. I want to Google that real quick.
Because when I first saw it, it's like, oh, cool. Casabal colors. I love that. And then
I think that, like, to me, that's closer to what the actual thing would be, but maybe that's just me.
But like I looked at a pic, but somebody mentioned the ReRISE, and I looked at the color scheme. It's like it uses that same.
It is Casval Gundam, yeah. It is Casval Gundam colors. You're right. So that is what that is. How funny, yeah. Why would there be that? But then again, how is somebody else using the core Gundam? So hey, look,
There's a weird
they
story
dropped.
with that one.
Yeah, so they actually dropped the Anima Rise. Though I have not translated the stuff written there. Obviously, it's Japanese.
I
But
need
the
to
one,
send that out to I have a couple of friends who speak and read Japanese. I need to like ask them.
well, obviously, you know, you
Fortunately,
got.
they're in Japan, so.
Well, obviously, that one there says RX-78, whatever type colors. And we know that the one is like the real type, and then you have the other one that is G3 colors. But yeah, it's interesting that it's the Rise version. That's funny.
And what's interesting also is they're numbered.
Yeah,
but they're numbered 4 and 5.
So that means the other two are 2 and 3. So what was their first one?
Yeah, unless he's counting speed grade as 1, but that would not make any sense.
I don't know. Maybe the Core 2 is actually the first one he designed, and he just never built it that way.
Huh, that's an interesting thought.
Yep. I thought the Grandpa Gundam was the one old guy Gundam who gave it to his grandson and built fighters, took it and fought Mao with it and destroyed him. Oh, you're talking about the F91 Imagine? That's not a Grandpa Gundam. Grandpa Gundam is referring to the RX-78.
Yeah.
Apparently Malik never realized that. Cosfal's Core Gundam, yeah, that's actually pretty neat. I'm getting that kit, so I just think it's a very interesting design.
I need to eventually order that when I have money to do things like that.
Yeah. But it was literally I just now noticed that was in the corner. But yeah, she just keeps on rambling about things. Yeah, okay. I was reading through my notes. I thought I had more to expound on there. But then, like, a few more things go by, a few more scenes, and then we actually see him developing the armor, which I think is pretty cool. And yeah, as you were pointing out here, that this is like age 1 front skirts, or at least expired. Here he's showing that the arm have to slide out, the beam sabers flip up. I can't. Oh, this is another drawing of how the things work for the shoulders. Obviously, if you built the Core Gundam, you know these things. I like the fact that that's a 3 mil peg, and he makes sure he wrote that down.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. I like how you can see the arm in regular position and the arm where it's extended out.
The arm, yep. That's pretty cool. But the idea that he drew it with a bigger fist, despite the fact you used the exact same fist. But you know, in game, in world, it's a little bit differently. But I like the scene that, you know, while he's drawing this in class, Hinata throws what you said was an eraser. I couldn't tell what it was, to get his attention. So, like, to me, I see the first attempt at her to get his attention away from GBN. Like, hey, the fuck are you doing? You haven't talked to me in weeks. I like that. I thought that was funny. And then a couple more scenes go by, and then this one comes up, and I thought it was interesting that we see him on the couch with his parents, and he's holding like a tablet, and you see him like scrolling through some stuff. And you and I had a discussion about this earlier, because I'm trying to figure out why the hell he's on a tablet looking at something. And your thought was that maybe he digitized the design and was getting an opinion. Let's see. He just said he tried to Google Translate and got nothing. Are you frozen?
I'm not frozen.
Oh, well, you didn't reply. Well, because I think, to me, like, because his dad is sort of interested, I gotta wonder if he's like proofreading. You know, because mom is like a lawyer or something, and dad's a writer. So I gotta wonder if he's just proofreading something, you know, that they handed him, because everything else he does is on paper. We haven't seen him digitize.
But they're still, everything else is connected to him creating the Core Gundam and its armors and stuff like that. So it would seem weird to have a scene that has absolutely nothing to do with that. So that's why I just assumed, oh, he's showing his parents what he's working on, and they're taking some semblance of interest in it. Yeah. The mom obviously does. The mom has to look like she doesn't quite know what to make of it, but she's happy that he's happy, and the dad's like, oh yeah, that's kind of cool, that there.
Yeah, but for me, his face looks like he's not sure what he's looking at. Like, so I wonder if dad just handed him something to read. But the main reason I say that is also, look at the screen. Look what the caption says. It says, enjoy yourself getting along with others. like having interaction with his parents and people who love him. Maybe, I don't know. It's one thing that made no sense in this entire montage. I think the Hinata scene was right before this, so outside stuff. So, and yes, I know that we got to get moving here. Dude, there's so much crap in this episode. But finally, he pops in with his finally completed E3 armor, but it doesn't have that name yet. It's just his main armor, his all-around good armor. And I'm going to say it looks weird in the G3 colors.
I don't know. I think it looks kind of cool with the overall cool color scheme.
I think the purples are okay between the chest and the arms. I felt that coming. I felt that coming for a while. I think that the head still needs the red for the chin and the gem or whatever. I think that's the only thing lacking. I think the rest would look fine. It just needs that. If I ever get that frickin' armor, I'll know. No, Gordon. Just no. I'm just gonna say it. No, Gordon. But either way, at that point, she's like, "It's beautiful," or whatever. I don't know what the hell she said, but it's a pretty moment, and then it's halftime. And now for your commercial great.
Buy stuff. Buy now. Bug your parents.
Gunpla.
Which means it's now my turn, right?
It's your turn.
Okay, so we come back to see the Core Gundam flying on top of the Earth armor with Eve in his hands. And she comments about the Core Gundam is happy because of all the love and care he put into it. And we see night change to dawn, and Hiroto says he wants to go there to the light of Core Gundams, know of our Gundam's Gunpa's possibilities. Blah.
I want to go to there. But yes, this is actually another really beautiful scene. Like,
isn't it? The artwork in this episode is just phenomenal.
Yep. Move on.
We then see Hiroto's sketches for the B2 and the Mars 4, and then we see them completed along with the Raven, which I think looks kind of cool in the G3 armors.
I wanted to bring something up just real quick.
Go for it.
The fact that the green that he used for the Venus armor is really weird. Like, because it's not that color.
No, it's not. I had noticed that too, and that part of me kind of wishes it actually was that color, because that army green feels like it'd be more appropriate for a. I think he refers to it as like ballistic armor later on.
I think so, but I gotta see something just real quick. I mean, you built it, but I wanted to see.
I can hold it up to the camera if you want. It's like right next to me.
That's okay. I'm looking at it. Okay. Yeah, it's weird that it's not. Well, the fact that he's lacking colors is one thing that really makes it strange. But yeah, just it's not even close to that type of green. But then again, the red is a little bit off too for the.
Yeah, the red is a little bit more pinkish than. But I think that's because he's like using highlighters to color this or something.
Something clearly, some kind of paint markers.
Yeah,
it was just Gundam marker. But I like he's got the sword sketched out there too. Yeah. Oh yeah, and as you were getting at, you see the Raven armor as well. So there that is. Also, that's actually a very, very similar pose to the one he used during the Perfect Sniper episode.
I would not be surprised if that's the exact same pose and they just recolored it for this scene.
Oh no, it's not. It's not.
Okay.
But here's a bit of behind the scenes stuff. So as I was going through this, I numbered the pictures so they're in numerical order so that I can just go dink, 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 right? So left over from last week, which was also still left over from that review, I replaced the image of the Obari pose with the sniper rifle with this one. So like that image was replaced with a U-Raven image. What are the odds of that? Like, that was not planned. That was nothing. I literally just type, here's the picture, do the thing. And mind you, obviously I screwed up. So here's the even more random thing. I'm lacking like 3 pictures and I managed that.
Anyway, so
just
we see it getting ready to fire, and then we see what he's firing at, which is a specifically it's a Dozel Zabi Zaku 2, and that's attacking petite guys.
I couldn't tell if it was attacking the petite guys or
they're running away from it scared. Like some of them are tripping, and you see a couple of them like reaching over to like help up their fallen comrades.
I just gotta wonder what was happening in that moment. Like, I would like some context to some of these scenes.
I'm guessing it was some sort of weird like mission event or something like that. Like protect the petite guys from the Zaku.
Something. But we also know he was
specifically Dozel's Zaku. I thought was weird.
Yeah, I mean that's a really cool kit. Actually, all of that run of those suits is really cool. I don't have an image of him being shot in the face, but I do have the next image
where we see the V2 using the drill weapons from the Saturnix.
Yes.
In an ice sculpture contest. This is so weird.
Yeah. But I mean, they're going to do what they're going to do.
But also it's sort of like in stores now, bug your parents.
Also, I want to know what he was sculpting because we don't get to see what he makes.
No, we don't.
It's annoying. Like, come on.
Let's see, and then we see.
Question: is that a gawk or that's beside him? What is that?
I don't know. It's one of the weird aquatic mobile suits for Zeon that, like, we only see like maybe once. It has this drill arm thing in it, so it's doing the same thing that he's doing.
Yeah, obviously.
So next we see it doing a sort of sword demonstration with an Ashura Gundam. You're probably gonna butcher me on this. Masurao?
Hey, you got it right.
Okay.
You actually got that word right.
And a Saku.
No, that's a plankton. I don't care that it's from some really weird offshoot manga. It's fucking plankton from SpongeBob.
It is such a weird thing.
Yeah. And then
to be honest, it reminds me of this one character. I don't even know if it's used anymore in Penny Arcade.
It's plankton. But I could obviously this shot I didn't get it. It pans from right to left to see more. I can't remember what the thing is that's to the far right. I just know it's really weird. Oh, actually,
I didn't get it either.
I think in our messenger, in our chat, I might still have that shot. Hold on, because I think I got a farther shot of it. Let me go back to the pictures from earlier this week. Now, the Ashura Gundam, I mistook for something else, but then I quickly realized, oh, that's a fucking G Gundam thing.
Yeah.
But I found it interesting, just the similarities between it and then the Sekhmet warlord from Ronin Warriors. Just interesting.
It has the same color scheme.
Very similar color scheme. 6 arms. Doesn't have 6 swords though. I even have for those who don't know who Sekhmet is, there's his image. Nope, actually that's even worse shot than the one I have on the screen. It's actually further left. So yeah, that's terrible. Either way, I don't know what that is. Moving on. But I like the idea. I'm guessing this is a pose off.
Yeah, or like some sort of sword dance demonstration thing or something. Because they're not fighting each other.
No, but actually the Saku looks like it's flailing its arms.
Yeah, because you can see like he's got motion. So you can't really see his arm.
Yeah, so I don't know what the hell. There's no context, and it's annoying. Like this is
I find it hilarious, but
this is stuff that I was like, come on, what is this? Also, the Mars armor looks terrible with those colors. With the G3. It looks so much better with the real type colors. V2 armor, G3 core, S6 drill combination. Let's see here. Saku, Saturnix armor. It's already out, dude. You don't have to wait on BBTS. I got mine. They're in stores now. Literally.
I just haven't been buying core Gundams. That's why I don't have any new ones on review.
I have all of them. Oh yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, he looks like Ryo.
Oh, a little bit, yeah, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's got some Ryo going on there. It's like somebody else previously was pointing out that coincidentally, the armors all sort of line up with some of the themes and colors of the Ronin Warriors, and I'm like, kinda. I'm like, whoop-de-doo. They're elemental. I mean, yeah.
I mean, it is
except there's not
was a Sunrise property.
Yeah, but also the fact that there's not two different blues, technically speaking. So it's off by a little bit. Uraven's a dark blue, but like the Venus is not even close to size color blue of the armor of the torrent. But I mean, we do have green, sort of. I mean, obviously the next one is green, but not that green. Neither one is close to Sage's green.
Yeah, there's no seafoam Ronin Warrior.
That's what I'm getting at. There's no seafoam, so it's close. So you're right.
Speaking of sea,
hold on, believe turn. What the heck? They're just saying things now. Oh, the one on the okay. Hold on. He says it's the Mahiru from turn A. No idea.
Okay.
Sure.
I can't see it, so I'll take your word on it.
You're right. Because we can't prove that you're not. It's the best way it works. Continue.
So then we see the Merc 1 underwater with the remains of an Aqua GM and some sort of sub. And we get our Patrick cameo. And I love that. So, if you zoom in, if you look at it, it says diver name and it's Colasar.
Yeah. We already know that guy's just bouncing around.
I love the look on his face. It's like, thank you for saving us.
Yeah, I'm guessing they're supposed to be in the sub, is what's going on. Now, unfortunately, once again, I fucked up and didn't have that picture. It's in the notes. I'm just gonna start sharing the notes from now on, because actually, you looked better at that shot than I did, so I didn't actually see what was going on. Because guys, like I said, at this point, it's his notes, and that allowed me to just go get the screenshots. So because
I was curious what that was. There were the remains of, and I was like,
an Aqua GM
face with tubes, and then I found the Aqua GM. Okay.
Oh, I just realized I can literally enlarge this photo and look at it. You guys can't, but I can. Oh, that didn't help.
Stop breaking things.
Yeah, definitely a gym.
Yeah, it's specifically the
stuff floating around. I just can't tell anything about the sub. Yeah. I mean, it's a thing. It's fine. It's fine. But yes, we got our Patrick cameo.
Yeah.
No, wait. What was the one... what was the really random Patrick cameo? There was the one that was on the bag that the lady was carrying at the hospital.
Yes.
But wasn't there one that it was a translation? Yes, it was the one. There was no visible one. It was a translation for a thing that was on the screen, and that was the Par. That was when Par and Freddy were heading to Mount Melag in the car, and he's going through the news.
And you see,
and I translated
like one of the editors or something.
Yeah, it was the editor. Was Patrick Colasar. That's right. We got the. I forgot. That was the hard earned. See, it's occasionally I do have to go full Matt Pat on this show.
And those bits were in Japanese.
Yes,
because it was a different. It wasn't the GBN official website. It was like a fan wiki.
Well, it was there. It was there. Not Google.
Anyway. And finally, we see the Jupiter floating around a colony, just not doing much other than looking.
Just barely.
And like the only reason I can tell it's the Jupiter because one, it's the only one that's left, and two, it's out in space, so it kind of has to be. Yeah. And it's white; you can just barely tell.
Yeah. Well, I found it interesting. They didn't like go in any order. They're just like.
No.
They just went through the list. Also, what does that one look like with the G3 color scheme on the inside? You have them all. Have you never tried that? I was going to say, you have them. Why haven't you tried that?
Because I don't like taking the armors off.
Take the armors off. Personally, I like to imagine that this is Texas Colony. Just because.
I could see it.
It's just Texas Colony because it needs to be. So basically, it's a montage of him learning his way around GBN, playing around with his armors that don't have names or designations so far.
Yeah.
And
So
then
after all this,
their relationship bonding.
Yeah, they're growing closer. And so after this, we see them sitting on top of Stonehenge.
Sorry, you didn't.
Nearby.
Hold on. You didn't see the comment. Ben R is going off of your meme that you made. He
Which
said,
one
is it? Wait, is this a Gundam reference? No, this is Patrick. So
it still amazes me that nobody thought of that during when that episode came out.
Yeah. Okay, so Patrick has now been in more episodes than the rest of the cast at this point. Yes, he's been in every episode, including original Divers. So, yes, Patrick Kolesauer has been in every episode of Built Divers so far.
Do we have a reason why Patrick keeps on showing up? Is like one of the people from Double O working on this show?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Mm-hmm.
They all work on different shows. It's like animators, designers, they just go with the shows. That's all it is. They just have a different cluster of people. So, moving on.
Yeah, so they're sitting on Stonehenge. Earth 3's nearby. They're looking at the stars. And Eve compliments them on coming up with so many outfits, which I find that turn of phrase kind of amusing because it makes me think of like she's like talking about Barbie doll clothes or something like that.
I gotta wonder if that's just a translation thing.
Possibly.
Because suits would have made sense.
Or just
changes
armor.
Of clothes, outfits. I mean, technically speaking, it's being outfitted with different weapons and armor.
Yeah.
So it's not a wrong term. It's just nothing we think of.
It feels weird.
It feels weird because a girl said it. Well, a girl. Non-gender specific electronic life form that is female shaped.
He says it's like he like appreciates the compliment. It's like these are kind of your idea. You were the one that helped me get them.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm still laughing at the "no, this is Patrick" comment because it's still funny.
And she says like, I just helped you expand the ideas that were already in your mind.
I think she was influencing him.
Yeah.
I think she legit was purposefully manipulating and influencing him.
Whether it be like just by dropping ideas or some sort of actual mental manipulation, because we know in the first original season of Build Divers, Sarah did something to kind of influence Riku to convince him to pull out the Gundam 00.
Yeah.
Amongst all the other kits that were available at the Gundam base. So that's
she did. He had the 00 diver before he went in and met Sarah, right? Or they went in with no. Oh, that's right. They didn't go in with Gunpla at first. They just went in to explore, and that's when they met her.
They were talking about. Well, no, he went in with the 00, but when he was trying to figure out what his first Gunpla was going to be for GBN, because he was old enough to have his own.
He was finally 12. He could get his first Pokemon.
He was walking through the thing, and you see the screens glitch around him.
Yeah.
And you hear Sarah's voice say something, and then he kind of goes into like this trance state, and then the next thing he knows, he's holding the Gundam 00 box. And it's like,
I didn't remember that. She turned on the TVs in the area with the 00 kits. Okay.
What's that?
That's what Jerry just said. She turned on the TVs in the area of where the 00 kits were.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Interesting. But yeah, clearly she's had an effect on him, you know, just even if it's just being around him and having an emotional effect on him and his thoughts process. Like, yeah, she influenced him to expand the core Gundam, gave it the armors, and then, as we'll see coming up here, they have a of one mind moment.
Yeah, so she's walking up to the edge of the stone and says how much she loves this world, and she then asks about how far she thinks they think GBN extends.
Yep.
And she says, I want to go there someday together with you and your Gunpla.
Yep.
And I'm wondering, is she still just talking about the sky, or is she thinking of Eldora?
What did I do here?
I don't know. You showed a screenshot and then you went back.
No, that part is fine. I was just noticing that there's still old pictures here, and I think that's what's going on. Like, for some, because once again, I'm running into that issue where a picture that should be here is not here. Did that change things? Yes, it did. Okay, so what I just ran into an issue with was I had deleted the pictures, but in a different screen, so they were still in the one I was looking at. So I was like, wait, why are these pictures all still here? Sorry, but yes, I am lacking the one that is coming up here in a second. So apologies.
So yeah, I'm wondering if
she go with him someday with you and your Gunpla.
Yeah, and I'm wondering, the way she's talking and the way she's looking out wistfully at the stars, I'm like, is she talking about just traveling amongst the stars, or is she actually thinking about trying to go back to Eldora?
Yes, she is.
Go to or something.
Well, the fact that she specifically says, I want to go out past Jupiter and all these other places. Oh, I see a roach.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Hold on. You continue on with that thought. But yes, she's talking about on Eldora. I'll be right back.
Yeah, because she does. Yeah, because when she says that about, and I'm wondering if she's thinking about Eldora. Hiroto says, we could just transfer to a space base. She says that's not what she means. She wants to leave from here, and she talks about wanting to travel across the solar system.
I didn't get it.
You did it?
I did not get it. I almost did. It was in a weird crevice between my billies. I tried. It's the same one I tried to kill yesterday, so I'm gonna have to spray. It's hot. You know how the bugs like to come inside when it's hot outside.
Yeah.
Either way, where are you at?
Talking about wanting to travel across the solar system, see all the planets on the way, and all the way to the ends of GBN.
Yeah.
And Hiro's like, can we really do that?
Yeah.
She's like, of course he can. If we can gather the power of wishing and the feelings of love from everyone in GBN, then any miracle can occur. Just like me.
Yep.
And he's
like,
that'll
be the screenshot.
What was that last part?
Yeah. Wait, what? She's like, nothing. But that idea right there that she specifically states essentially what happens in near the end of season 1, where literally they take the thoughts and feelings and prayers of everyone together so that they can have that ultimate victory over the corrupted devil Gundam break-in thing. That's literally what happened. That's what it came down to, and that's what was going on with the 00 Sky and the one before that, where it's literally thoughts and feelings and prayers. And also we know that that's how Helldivers are made. Okay. But yeah, we've also heard this before, this entire speech at least twice in flashbacks. So it's like, at this point, I'm like, okay, we get it. That's great that we're seeing the moment that it happened. That's lovely. And it's, once again, incredibly beautiful. But for the love of God, we've already heard this. Get on to something we don't know yet.
So he's like, let's go, Hiroto, to the faraway place beyond the galaxy, across the universe as far as we can. And she glitches.
Well, first, the sky glitches.
Mm-hmm.
I see some breakage.
Yeah,
happening. So this was probably the early instances of brake decals being used. Mm-hmm. So the sky, just some like purple lightning kind of comes across, and then she herself, has a little bit of a DIVERS happen.
Yeah.
And
I'm familiar with this kind of technique of making glitches because I use this in the comics sometimes.
Oh, sure. Especially on the screens for communication purposes.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like, for him to be sitting there and watch this happen after that weird comment, he's probably like, what the fuck? Like, also, I don't know if we discussed this before. What kind of internet do they have in this world? It's got to be beyond fiber to be able to transmit literal thoughts across the world in 0 lag time.
50G?
50G. Infinite. Infinity.
G40.
Whatever. You know what? I'm surprised we haven't seen a G40 on the screen yet in this show.
Really? I know there's probably some sort of weird licensing thing with it because it's designed by a specific person, and they would have to like give that guy lots of money to have it show up on screen.
Well, to me, it was like, okay, maybe it'll pop up because they had the designs already sketched out. You know, it'll be on a flash thing, you know. We'll see. We still have a few episodes to go. And apparently, like, if all of the teasers that have been given out by Kits are any indication, there's so much more shit that's got to happen by the end of the show. Or they're doing that thing where they're like, yeah, these are totally in the show, and then they're totally not in the show. They're like, hey, these are awesome designs. Wouldn't it have been great to see them on screen? Yeah, it would have. Sorry. Anyways.
Anyway, so glitches.
The wind kicks up.
And there's a huge gust of wind, and she's like practically lifted up off her feet and was about to fall off, but Hiroto's able to catch her in time.
She's so weightless with all the love.
And then somehow after this, he's struck with inspiration. He's not thinking about, holy crap, this girl nearly fell off the edge and hurt herself, even though this is a game. He's like, hey, this somehow gives me an idea. Let's name the armors after the planets.
You know what it is? It's Inception. She has been planting all of this subliminally to eventually get him to the idea of the planet system. Like that whole conversation prior to this. Let's go out there beyond this planet, through all the stars to the other side of GBN or beyond. Oh, yeah, I'm a miracle. What? I'm glitching, yeah. Oh, planets. That's what we should name these after. This one will be called Earth Gundam.
And you know what? The planets have numbers. If you think about them in a certain way, let's put those numbers in there too.
Earth 3. We could have timed that to actually say it together, but no, we didn't. But I found that weird, and then they both say it. Like I said, they had that twinning moment.
Yeah, it's kind of cute though. These two are adorable together.
Though I'm not gonna lie, half of the names are really dumb, especially the newest ones we got. But the one that stands out the most to me, like they didn't really try, was V2. Like, the Venus part just sort of goes away entirely. Like everything else is like almost the whole name, except for Uraven, but that's pretty close. But
like Mars 4 is specifically the entire name plus the
Mars
number.
4, Earth 3, Mercury 1, or Mercury 1. It's basically all of it there. V2, we're just like not going to try very hard. But actually, no, never mind. I was going to say something, but never mind. Doesn't make sense. She's a kid. What the hell are you talking about? Gundam Fight Club. She has a Care Bear tattoo on her belly. I don't know what's going on.
What?
Vamps. What is happening in the chat here? Hold on.
I told you guys to behave.
I don't know what Malik is talking about. Emo Vamps, Hyperbit Internet. What are you even talking about? 50G Towers. Yeah, those are the ones that are driving people crazy. Wait, what if Eve did all this in order to bring Hiroto to Eldora? That's what I was getting at. Well, actually, you and I talked about on Thursday, we were talking about how somehow all of this has come about in a very interesting way. Ultimately. So the first person, so to speak, that he runs into in GBN is a quote-unquote L-diver who just happened to look exactly like an ancient. And we know an ancient left a trail behind for Kuadorn to find. And he happened to show up at GBN, accidentals himself a diver who gets into trouble. So he just forgets about that. So then eventually we end up with a Freddy who accidentals himself back into GBN asking for help and happens to find a person who has had connections with an Eldiver / creator / ancient who comes to Eldora as she has been talking about him needing to go beyond the galaxies. It's like a whole lot of destiny involved in this. She seeded the thoughts to fulfill his destiny. Yes, I went there. Shut the fuck up. Anyways,
so
things happen, and weird stuff, weird nonsensical things start happening.
Yeah. So next we see Sarah.
Well, next we see a weird cracking red sky.
Yeah.
Which must be in a colony if it's curved ceiling.
And it's like everything is red and falling apart. Also, we finally get to see Sarah in that mirror mission color scheme from her Gunpla base exclusive kit. And everybody was like, why the heck did they design her like this? Because she was never there and not colored like this.
Oh, see, I missed a comment where somebody said that Eldivers are emotional vampires. Okay. That's what he was referring to. That's why I was really confused.
So everything's falling apart.
Oh, damn, your audio.
When you look at her eyes, they don't have any highlights to them.
Nope.
And she's running and looks like she's about to succumb to whatever the heck is going on right there.
Mm-hmm.
But when she reopens her eyes, there's Eve holding her, and there's in this glowing green orb. GN particles, maybe. I don't know.
GN particles. It's always GN particles.
Jebro dirt.
Yep. And her eyes change to go back to normal.
Yeah.
Unlike your audio.
Life returns to her face, and then she like hugs her, and it seems like she absorbs her into herself.
Yeah, it's really strange that like she like purifies her, so to speak, and then absorbs her.
It's like, and we see another Sarah, and this one is on her knees in a corrupted area.
Well, hold on just a second. Hold on, I have to put this on the screen for you to see.
So
Ghostbusters.
Who are you gonna call?
Yeah. So this is the thing that you're referring to.
Yeah. And yeah, so
she floats down to the rescue.
She hugs her, and it seems like she purifies her and takes her into herself.
Yeah, it's really strange.
And we see another Sarah that's falling through what looks like a black crimson watery void.
Yep.
And again, she does this.
I have a question.
Yeah.
We might have to compare all of these scenes to where all the glitches happened in season 1.
Oh.
Underwater, in a colony, in a weird boxed up place.
I'd have to.
We have to go back. We have to go back to season 1 and compare. Somebody make a note.
And I have a long thing on my notes about how this is very similar to me to the law of cycles from Boudica Magica.
Sure. I don't know, because I don't know what that is.
The idea there is that basically this force basically absorbs the grief and sorrow of magic girls just before they basically succumb to that and would then normally turn into witches.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense now that you've explained it.
And it's very interesting that they have something that feels almost exactly like that.
That's an explanation point.
And then after this, we see Eve standing next to a lake, the Starry Night. It almost feels like it's that same field that she met Hiroto at, just see lakeside.
Oh,
and
sorry, I'm not there. Hold on.
There we go. And she looks somewhat sad, and then we see her glitch, and a red shatter comes from her heart.
Also in the thumbnail.
And one, That is such an awesome image. It's also like literally heartbreaking.
So in this moment, it seems like she's been bringing in these versions of Eve from places that are breaking down or glitching. Yes, Sarah, sorry. And then all of a sudden her heart, so to speak, shatters as she's glitching. So maybe it is that she's absorbing the negative feelings, the negative auras or whatever from these weird instances of Sarah. And we know that this is taking place simultaneously to Build Divers Season 1 to some degree because of the ultimate end result.
And this is weird. This was something that we both kind of commented on that we thought was weird because we had always assumed that Sarah was the first L-diver.
Yeah.
Just no real evidence for it other than the fact that she showed up first. So why else would we assume that there'd be others before her? But this seems to show that she's the first one, or at the very least, she comes before Sarah did.
Lucky her.
Anyways, that might be the implication. It's kind of hard to tell. Seemingly, yes. But then again, I guess at the very beginning of Series 1, we see Sarah sort of come into existence, right? She's like just sort of pops
into... like wake up in a flowery field, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, so it's possible that happened when all this was happening. So we'll find out next episode where things really go. But yeah, the idea that she's rescuing these versions of Sarah, and then I don't know. The timing seems like she's been there since the beginning of GBN, and we've already had the discussion before of when did the ancients come to GBN.
Mm-hmm.
So what if she is a remainder of some sort of one of these ancients? GBN is their like end goal. It's their incarnation system on this end of the universe.
Mm-hmm.
But they've been there for a long time. So, but we'll talk about things coming up at the end here. But yes, obviously here something very bad is happening to her and we don't know what.
So she gasps, falls on her knees into the water, and then Hiroto wakes up. Was this all a dream? Or is he somehow connected to her? We don't really know per se, other than what we have to kind of make assumptions on, basically.
Yeah. Andreas brought up an interesting point. He says the need to compare Sarah's pet with Eve and her green earring. Because remember, Sarah had that weird, like, Digimon-looking thing?
Green diamond-shaped thing on its forehead, didn't it?
I guess. I don't recall, to be totally honest. I'll go look. I'll make a note of it. Maybe we can talk about it next week. See, this is how podcasts are supposed to work. Something comes up now and we talk about it next week. If I'm going to be shopping it, I mean, obviously I'm guessing Andreas is pulling this information from somewhere else, and that's why he's bringing it up now. Because there are other people who talk about these things before we do. And yes, Malik, he is having audio issues. It happens after a couple hours.
Sorry.
This is why we need to get him a proper... Guys, we need to get him a proper Bluetooth headset for this situation. So you need to go subscribe to the Shoki Reviews 2 channel so that we can get him this Bluetooth headset.
Not sure how that works, but okay.
Monetization. Anyways. Yeah, what is it with L-divers and waking up in fields? Well, where else would you want to wake up? In the middle of a battlefield? Wake up in a nice, peaceful place with flowers.
Speaking of which, we flash forward to the middle of a battlefield.
Do we?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not looking at the notes.
Specifically, it's the aftermath of that battle where he went just kind of ape shit and was like, I'm going to take on everybody, including this giant ship. Oh, look, I blew up the city. Oh, well. But she wasn't too happy about it.
Indeed.
To her standing amongst the wreckage and flames, Hiroto's trying to apologize, saying he had a bad dream, and he was trying to make her cheerful today, which that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Like, I wanted to make you happy, recklessly charged into battle, let my teammates get killed, and cause an entire city to go up in flames. Doesn't that just make you smile?
Yeah, I don't have a screenshot for any of this. You guys know what it looks like. We've seen it at least 4 times since season 1. We've had this conversation. She doesn't like him like this because he just wrecks the world. She loves this place. Don't do that.
And he says he saw her suffering in his dreams, and then Eve's eyes kind of go wide, seeming to know what he's talking about.
Yeah, okay, so the whole point of all the previous scenes with Sarah were all Hiroto's dream. Those weren't us seeing that from what was happening. Hiroto was dreaming everything up till that point. Yeah, you didn't catch that? I told you that the other day. That's the weird thing about it. Those are what he was dreaming. That's what he was dreaming of. Remember, that's why
Sarah and everything.
Yes, so he's talking about having those dreams after wrecking shop. What was bothering him and on his mind when all this was going down is basically watching Eve die and seeing her do all this other weird stuff with this strange girl. So he dreamed all of this, or saw it happening in his dreams, because obviously Eve is active doing things while Hiroto is at home sleeping. Yeah.
So that's what I think it's like he's dreaming it, but he's seeing something that's actually happening, is my thought.
She would have exploded 5 or 6 times over and nuked GBN in and of itself if that were true.
The amount of people I've still seen throw hate at this series without having to watch any of this season.
Dude, okay, just Bandai Hobby sharing this episode on their Facebook, Twitter, and all those things. All of the comments were like, Build Divers sucks, get back to a real series. It's like, idiots are not watching it. Like, this is a good series. And this is coming from me, who hated the first series with a passion.
Yeah, I mean, the reason you and I started this, was because like you were going to be kind of the grumpy negative opinion, I was going to be the overly positive opinion, and then we both ended up really liking the series.
Yeah, we should have switched. You should have ended up hating it and me loving it. That would have made way more sense. But it's hard. It's only the people who think that Gundam is only ever this one thing in a small box, and they can't accept it. It's like, this is more human to me than most Gundam series, because it's dealing with a person who lives in a real world similar to our own, not this weird futuristic timeline of impossible technologies.
Not to mention, because of the way they do it, particularly this season, it's very intimate. We're dealing specifically with Hiroto and his problems, his issues with everything that's happening and going to happen. In relation to these scenes,
and the real world trauma that every one of these build divers have been through, that has brought them to who they are at the beginning of the series.
Yeah,
with the exception of May, who's not a real human yet. She's technically a real human on Eldora, but she didn't even notice that she was breathing. Think about that.
Is that area reading? Anyway, we're on one side.
Do you think that's Grey Glob number 3 you're eating?
It tastes like tasty.
Tastes like
she
tasty.
Tells him that he always makes her cheerful. She smiles sadly and glitches. And he sees this before. And before he can say anything, she says, "You should join a force."
She literally she didn't even mince words. Not like sort of slowly influencing him. Actually, she did say go be with others and stuff like that, but she literally says, "You should join a force," and he just goes, "Okay."
It's like, you'll be able to see a whole new world.
Yeah.
There still feels like there's sadness behind, and there still feels like there's sadness behind her smile there. We flash forward again. The core Gundam now has its regular paint job, and Hiroto has joined Team Avalon, complete with the original dark-colored uniform.
I was going to say, yeah, that's right. This is the original uniform, because I forgot the other uniform was even after the champion changed to the FV colors.
Yeah.
Special Forces colors.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot about that until you just reminded me. Well, because
I realized I wasn't really thinking about it, and then when I saw that scene before, I was like, "Oh, he is wearing the Special Forces color."
Yeah. Well, I didn't even consider it because you do see it in the previous flashback. That's in the future. This is weird. Gunpla time travel. The outfit does look different. It didn't occur to me until just now when you said original team colors. I was like, oh yeah, that's right. They did change it. That's why his Gundam changed, or they changed their uniform to match his Gundam, which is more likely what happened. He said, hey, I'm going to add some lighter colors. We have to change all our uniforms now, don't we? Yes. And it'll cost you 3,000 gold. That'll be 40 plat.
Now they're using hard coins in that universe.
Hey, we're going way back. It's going to be 40 plat for that. But yes, he's like, your uniform's nice. I like it. And then he uncomfortably changes out of it. He's like, and she's like, why? He's like, I just, when I'm with you, I want to be in my red shirt.
Out almost exactly like May, and it's adorable.
Yeah. Impulse and Arc Gundam has some real help. Yeah, the pouting Eve, though. I don't have the pouting face. I'm sorry.
I sent you links to that image, man.
As if I was going to use your screenshots.
Anyway, we also see some cool. We see like pictures of him. I'm guessing from like the day that they recruited him or something.
Yeah.
With the champion, he's awkwardly putting on like the glove, and he's in a awkward group shot with the pilots of Lance and Arc.
Yeah, whatever their names were. The second and third level people. The chick with the glasses and the other guy.
Yeah, and we see like the castle and stuff. Yeah, so he changes out of it. She pouts because she likes him in the uniform. And then Hiroto remembers that he has a gift for her, and he gives her the green diamond-shaped earring. And apparently he like actually made this thing or something, and he puts it on her, and it's again adorable.
It is sort of implied that he crafted it, yeah. Oh.
What?
More things I needed to make notes on. Hold on. Continue.
Okay. Yeah, so he says he made it for her, and she loves it. And he puts it on her, and the two smile and share the warm moment together.
Which I actually got this really beautiful screenshot for this.
It really is.
Yeah, that was like, I had to wait for the frickin' the text to go off the screen. And yes, I know I can turn it off when I'm getting screenshots, but sometimes it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, so she says she loves him and thanks him for it. Hiroto says he should be thanking her. At first, I wasn't really interested in playing GBN. If it went for you, our Gundam wouldn't have been completed. That's something I thought was interesting. He refers to it as their Gunpla.
It's their baby. It's their baby.
Yeah.
Their baby Gunpla.
I might have given up that day when he crashed like a total noob and was about ready to rage quit.
Noob.
I wouldn't have known how wonderful GBN is, or that Gunpla answers builders' feelings.
Hey, your audio came back.
Okay, did you hear anything I said, or?
Yes, but your audio, there it went again. It's going in and out. It was fine for like 2 seconds and then went away again.
Okay. Eve smiles contentedly. At least to me, this is what she feels. It looks like she's like, oh, you get it now. This is great. As the closing music starts, we see them actually set up for that picture, the one that he has on his shelf.
That one.
And it's kind of cool actually seeing the entire situation for this.
Yeah. She's like, Hiroto. He's like literally trying to set up for the photo, and he pushes the button. He's like, and he grabs him and start running. I mean, it's an awesome setup. I like it. Digs it.
And they're just so adorable together, which makes stuff that's going to happen more heartbreaking.
Would you say they're totes adorbs?
They're totes adorbs. Totes.
I thought so.
After the credits finished rolling, it's nighttime. Eve turns around, smiles, and asks Hiroto for a favor.
No,
he's kind of confused and a little bit worried.
No, it doesn't happen.
Hmm?
It's not happening.
What's not happening?
I deny it. If
and
I don't have a screenshot, it didn't happen.
She'd like him to erase her.
Okay, I did capture a really creepy smile on her face there.
Yeah. And that when I was watching the episode for the first time, I was like, okay, things have been really happy and heartwarming. How are they going to crush me? I'm waiting for it. They're going to do something to squish my heart. Oh, there it is.
Yep, they did that.
And then in the preview, we see Hiroto talk about Eve returning to the sea of data. And then we see flashes for a whole bunch of other stuff.
Well, he specifically says I thought I was returning her to the sea of data, but I don't think that's what it was.
Yeah.
So let's theory craft for just a second here.
Yeah, I have been just given a warning that I do work in the morning.
I know
so
you got your 5-second warning. But either way, the sea of data would be where the ancients are floating about.
Yeah, like where they're the buffering, basically.
The buffering. But also, maybe that's her being sent home.
Going back to Eldora?
Because that was the intention. They were supposed to come back.
That's right.
And now we already know through divers coming through, there is a gate that works.
Mm-hmm.
So when he erases her, if she was basically making way for the L-divers to exist, like L-divers, I believe, are what they originally said, but perhaps they are embodying something of the ancients that came first. That's why
they said that the L-divers are made up of like the excess data found in GBN.
The excess data, feelings, and everything from the divers and the Gunpla. And that's all she's talked about. That's all that Sarah talked about. They are connected to the Gunpla. That makes sense. But if their consciousness, if the data of them being sent to here is floating
I would say
about,
that's excess data.
Yeah. Floating about and fragmented, their physical embodiment of what they are is possibly the physical data of the ancients who came through, but without any real memory, except if Eve was first, she knows more about what's going on. Now, the images of her saving Sarah over and over again, maybe that's recovering and collecting the data, or that's where she was breaking GBN and Eve was trying to fix it, taking the damage upon herself, which is why she has to go. She's corrupted herself to the point that she has to return to the sea of data to repair herself. And that reminds
know that
what?
In the original, in the first season, Sarah's presence was having basically the same effect as the brake decals, and it was
kind of the same
deal. Her
deal.
very existence was causing damage to GBN, and so Eve seems to be, maybe she's trying to stop that, but in the process she's taking more of that into herself and is just making it so that her very presence is even more damaging than Sarah's was.
Yeah, it's actually, it's breaking her, because Sarah was, the funny thing is that Sarah combined with the the 00 diver or the 00 sky could actually heal damage. Like she had the ability to fix it. She just happened to, her emotions broke things, but it's almost always in the same place as someone using a brake decal. That's the thing. It wasn't every time, but it was a lot of time. But she also had a bad habit of her emotions making things happen, like the mirror mission that wasn't supposed to go the way it did, but her coming along also corrupted things. So she's excess data. She's a weird glitch in and of itself. GBN wasn't designed for her consciousness to be there. So if Eve is absorbing the damage that she was doing, or at least trying to, obviously it didn't always work, and purifying it, maybe that was her instance. Maybe she was influencing the 00 diver every time the green stuff came out and did the repairs. But once again, her bringing that on herself would break herself. If she's the first, that she knows what's going on, but she's also been there so long, she needs to go back to the Great Link.
Right.
Also, we're going back into Stargate territory here, because when the ancients are in their ascended world, they are just energy. They're just data.
Exactly.
And if they come back, it's usually a one-way trip, but you have the knowledge, you could send yourself back to whatever the ascended plane technically is. So yeah, I'm still likening it to I'm trying to find
You're not wrong.
a specific image, and I don't think I'm doing it. Also, I'm just randomly been reminded of the time that Momo is belly scratching the ferret guy, which is just weird. Season 1 was a little bit weird. Why?
Just a little bit.
Why am I blanking on his name? It's a real general name. Why can't I think of it? Either way,
I'm blanking too.
So next episode, we finally see the deletion, but the idea that we've always thought that it was the grand deletion, the reset of GBN, that caused Eve to die. But now we're finding out that no, Hiroto had to erase her. Odds are she couldn't do it herself, because it would be some kind of weird suicide pact, which is also sort of an ancient thing. If you couldn't kill yourself, you can't. Either way, they really did rip off a lot of Stargate for this. But the idea that like somebody would have to do it, it would have to be a sacrifice for her to
against self-terminate.
So she's going to have to give him the code to erase her, kind of. But the idea that he did that prior to the coalition battle. So now that he knows what an L-diver is, he knows that they're fighting for an L-diver, and that's why he didn't stop them. That's why he didn't shoot the 00 Sky out of the clouds.
Yeah.
So, does the S word demonetize? What S word? I mean, I know you guys are talking about the word simp. Like they were talking about how he was simping for Eve, even though it was a genuine emotional connection, not just simp. Sarah was a mistake. Hideo Kojima, maybe. Yeah, so basically a lot of people just talking about calling somebody a simp and how that's not right. Existence is pain.exe. Colony drop. What? You guys are just on all kinds of weird shit. Hold on. Oh, people were calling Hiroto a simp during the premiere stream is what was happening.
Weird.
I think Hinata is more of a simp for Hiroto if we're going to go there. No, why would that demonetize for talking about something otherwise? There's a lot of words that would get you demonetized, but I'm not going to talk about the over-policing of language on the internet. It's kind of ridiculous as it is. But the idea is, next episode, we see the ultimate result of Hiroto's trauma. So he have to literally kill the woman he loves spending time with, and now understand that she was somehow a synthetic life form. But as we've been discussing since the beginning of this series, now that we know that she's an L-diver, can she be reborn on Eldora? And that was kind of the plan. They were supposed to go away, wait for the planet to heal, and come back
and repopulate and everything. Yeah,
repopulate out of sand bodies. So we'll see what happens. I think that line specifically saying that he said that she was supposed to return to the Sea of Data, but I don't think that's what happened or what she meant. So if the Sea of Data is literally the vast amount of stuff in the universe, or maybe there's some celestial holding pattern that all of this consciousness is floating about in, and GBN just sort of makes sense of, you know. It's like, I just eventually want to know how ancient technology merged with GBN to create Divers, and if GBN was created as a receptacle for the ancient to come to.
There's a lot of coincidences going on here that seem too big to ignore. Yeah.
Do you think they're going to make a sequel after this? It doesn't look like it. The language that they put forward to is that this will be the end of this particular series. Now, does that mean they won't do anything at all? No. They'll probably do another series and then come back to this world in a future time after the relevance of this. So this either opens up the idea, as we talked about, theory crafting at the beginning of the season, that either they're going to end this with either Eldora being completely cut off because that was the best way to do about it, or Eldora is open and humans are now coming there to explore, and they're finding other ways to find others
to explore the universe
using GBN. Yeah, using GBN and this incarnation system to explore the universe after they discovered it's a thing. And they'll have to have ancient knowledge to do it and someone to lead the way, so to speak. Now, if Hiroto ends up evolving into an ancient, as the series progresses due to his exposure to Eve, I'm going to call bullshit, because then they're just going to be like, hey, this is this series version of new types. Digital tourism, just the DLC pass. I don't know. It's like there's got to be some moral implications of just popping into some alien homeworld to play around.
We do know that there's going to be some bat logs for divers.
Something. So who knows? Who knows if the original team is going to come back? We know that we've got kits of updated suits of half the original build divers now. We got a new 00 Sky in different colors. We've got the Rise 210. We've got the Tri-Age. God knows what else we're going to get, But we don't even know if they'll even show up. We don't even know if that's even part of the story. Maybe it was, and now they have to change it. Who knows? But
we don't know if it still got scrapped because of things. Because of the whole pandemic, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, in theory, they already had the story, and they've already got, most of the animation. I think the animation was not the problem, because I think it's the voice acting, because that had to be done after the animation, right? So the voice actor couldn't do the thing. But anyways, so he's got to go. It's late anyways. But guys, thanks for watching. We had really great numbers. I saw it hit at least 31 or 32 there for a little while. So now that we're back, we need to keep this up. Hopefully we will keep this up every Sunday after the thing. It would be great if we could do it on Thursdays. Life doesn't work that way. But thanks for watching. Make sure, of course, go watch the actual episodes. Download them. Show Bandai and Sunrise that you do like the series. And don't fight with people on the internet, but make sure that they understand that this is a good series.
Yes.
It's a good thing. Make sure you go subscribe to the Shoki Reviews 2 channel. You don't need to subscribe to the Rodimus 13 channel, at least not for now.
If you want to.
No, we need to stay ahead of him. We need to stay ahead of him. At least go watch his videos. They need a few more views over there. And I got more stuff coming up on my channel. Yep. As always, it is. So, yes, GN everyone. Needs to be more GN particles everywhere. And no, I don't think that the Neptate. Such a stupid name. I thought Jupitive was stupid. Neptate is even stupider. Hey, you want to see my Neptate Gundam?
Never say it like that again.
You see this one? This is my Neptate. I just call him Tate. This is my Tate Gundam. You want to climb in my Tate?
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. Keep on nerding, keep on building, and keep on invading his shelf space.
Yes.
I just should tag that in there. Just keep on invading the shelf space.
Keep on invading the shell space.
It's a nuke keep. There is no Soul Zero. Stop saying it. That's why it's a core Gundam. It's the core of the solar system. Think about it, guys. They always won the Soul Zeros.